This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Screen again. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, thank you, the Velvet Army, right off the bat. Yeah, it was a pretty poor super chat early show today, I can tell you that. Even with the amazing Street View find, wasn't good. But I know when I find something, it's just, you know, nothing special, right? Thank you, Freebird Forever. Wow, we almost equaled the early show just right there.
Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier to somebody, that my wife said it sounded like the McStay case from 2000 and I think it was 10. And I got a disgruntled worker and then he kills the whole family. Yeah. It's in California. I think what the thing that Zozo sent me was something about the Debbie Collier case, not a missing person. So it was just like they searched her house for 6 hours, Amanda's house, at some point. I don't know if it was today or when they searched there, but you know, they're looking for something. And then there's this channel out there that's getting all kinds of credit because somebody else on their, one of the people watching sent something. And they're claiming that the amount of money that the boyfriend of Amanda owed is exactly the same amount, but it was all done sort of magically by coming up with 5 months of this and 4 months of, you know, it's just sort of
you are the best.
And Fox News ran with it. They gave credit to the actual, you know, it was very similar to what happened to Jay at one time, where she was just trashing a family, had nothing to do with it, and somebody else called in. But I guess it's, you know, if your channel's the one that puts it out, great. But it's just it's unreal, man. I mean, why would Fox News just run with that? It's just been a lot of really crappy reporting during this. Now, whether or not it's true or not, maybe it is. You know, maybe it's true that the amount of money that the boyfriend owed Andrew, I guess his name is exactly the same amount. But was that really what you would take out? I mean, honest to God, like if you were gonna, and by the way, how would Andrew even know how to calculate how much he owed? Thanks, Lane Dune and Jody H. And then all of a sudden she gets the exact amount. Not 2,500, you know, get a little extra.
I was still working during your early show, but you are world map goat. Yeah.
No, but it's the exact amount. It's like they did a bunch of sort of, okay, now if we do 5 months, ooh, look at that, it's exactly, you know. I don't know. Well, they're going to try to associate it with Kylie's case to draw in more attention. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's not even closely related whatsoever at all. I mean, who's ever saying that is a complete idiot, okay? There's no association at all with it. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's see. It wouldn't be too bright to get the exact amount. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just, hey, let me get the exact amount. Because I just called over to ask, what is it that we owe fully? And they told me, so then I got this amount. I don't know. I'm not, I mean, I guess there's a chance that that's the number, but I think it's less likely. Because there's a lot of people that came up with ways to make 2,385, you know, and all of them were sort of similarly derived. Just a second. Gotta have that playing. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm just gonna go over it again and try to like more slowly look at the surveillance video, and then also try to like really pay attention the entire time during, you know, the press conference. Sometimes I'm having to like interact with people and I miss something. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they have the McDonald's CCTV footage. The people who added up his fees supposedly are claiming they solved the case. Yeah. Are you serious? They said that? They won't let me go, but hey, they won't let me go, but here we go. Here's the exact amount for your boyfriend. I'm dying, everybody, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send your boyfriend his 2,385, and yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem very well thought out. I love you, and here's some money for your boyfriend. Does that make any sense to anybody at all? Anybody? Gray, you're just jealous that one of your freaks didn't... No, I'm not. I just think it's crazy the way things work out there. I do. I look nice with this dumb green. I got like a... Well, I like the shirt, but it's comfortable. Well, thank you, I guess. So thank you so far to the Velvet Army, Freebird Forever, Carolina T, and Lane Dune, and Jody H. Yep, got them all. It is? Yeah. Never thought of this color as one. Yeah, I saw that one. They made it into the paper. Oh, it actually said case solved? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. And guess what? That same YouTuber made a video on the serial killer case that we're covering. Almost identical. I mean, exactly the same, exact same conversation. Even mentioning, maybe I could circle this whole area here, and this would be, it's just... Come on, you guys. It's amazing, all right? And I did my show first, okay? Miss Angel, or whatever, not Miss Angels, Ange Tech Sun. All right, let's see. The whole story is strange. I hope whoever did it is arrested soon. You'd think if I was as simple as the daughter, she'd already be in jail. Yeah, well, it could be something that she went up there to meet somebody. But then you have to sort of figure out, and then maybe the text message. Yeah, forget it. I'm not going to go over that again. It's too mind-boggling. You get trapped every time. Right, so before we get into that one, I'm going to go over this other case from 1980. So, if you can't sit through something else, then get the hell out of here. I'm going to do this one right now, though. It looks like it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's solved, but I want to see what the hell what was going on at the time. All right, so hold on. So look at this one. Decapitated body found. And look at, it was found inside of this suitcase right here. Is that crazy or what? The headless nude body of a young woman was found crammed into a streamer trunk at an apartment complex here Thursday, and state police investigators said today they still don't know who she is or why she was murdered. The body, which, let me turn down, this music's too loud. Like it's like, yeah, all right. The body, which was also missing both hands, so obviously 1980, people didn't know about DNA, so to hide the identity of somebody, you would get rid of their head and hands, which often happen. But there were some serial killers that would do the same thing. The body, which was also missing both hands, was discovered at 1:30 p.m. by a maintenance worker at the Hudson View apartment complex off Route 9D. I think I found it, actually. I think it's right here. This is called Hudson View Park Apartments. But here's 9D, and then here's this little driveway that goes into here. So I think back in 1980, it was in this general area right here where this suitcase was found. The victim was described as a white female between 21 and 25, about 5'5", and 135 pounds. Police said her shoe size was 4.5 to 5, which they thought was pretty unusual. She wore size 12 or 14 clothes, had a 26-inch waist, wore size 34B bra, and had type O negative blood. Hundreds of missing persons reports from throughout the eastern seaboard were being checked in authorities today to see how many match the description. We're running them all down, Fairchild said, but we don't have anything definite yet. Police also were trying to trace the streamer trunk. The time of death was established as sometime on Tuesday, and authorities said a sharp instrument was used to sever the head and hands. The cuts were done carefully, police said, but not surgically. And that would be see body. So here's the second page of that right there. The body was examined at the scene of Dutchess County Medical Examiner. As soon as arrangements were made to transport the body to the hospital for the autopsy, investigators and troopers at the scene combed the woods near the apartment complex in a fruitless search for the woman's head and hands. Hey, thank you, WNC Granny, who said, I appreciate different opinions, but good grief, some things people come up with are absolutely crazy. Yeah, I mean, it might not be, it could be true, right? Like, I mean, it's, you're talking about the fees. It's just the fact that people would just go run with it as if it's a fact is a little bit weird to me.
But good grief, some things people come up with are absolutely crazy. Makes me wonder about them. Good job today, Gray.
Well, thank you. But others at the scene question why someone transporting a body from another area would be chosen to drive into a parking lot in an apartment complex to dump the trunk. Fairchild said today that the investigation has not revealed whether the woman was killed somewhere else and transported. He said bodies of people who have been murdered in New York City or New Jersey have sometimes been found dumped in fields or along roads. But others at the scene questioned why someone transporting a body from another area would have chosen to drive into a parking lot of an apartment complex to dump the trunk. I mean, that's a good point. Like, that's pretty bizarre. That's like a serial killer mentality. They wanted it found and had it and wanted it to be shocking. If it's just a question of dumping of a body, one investigator at the scene reasoned, why not just dump it in the Hudson River, just down the road, Fairchild said. Investigators planned to question everyone in the 506-unit apartment complex. Maintenance workers were picking up trash near a large receptacle for garbage in the parking lot of one of the buildings when they spotted a large dark green steamer trunk. When one of the workers tried to move the trunk and discovered that it was heavy, the maintenance man then opened it and found the body. We were on our rounds when we saw the box, and Thomas Newman, one of the workers. He said there was blood on the outside of the trunk, and it appeared the trunk had been previously tampered with because there was tape around the seams. Someone else had been there before us, he said, adding the trunk was not there when he and Stanley Odell, the other maintenance worker, made the rounds on Tuesday. Newman said he had nightmares Thursday. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw the white thing with no head, he said. Fairchild asked that anyone with information call a number. Okay, let me go back to the other one because there was another part down here. An ordinary old trunk. I mean, there it is right there, right? An ordinary old trunk holds gruesome remains. It was an ordinary old trunk. Its faded green sides, held together with silver-colored duct tape, were slightly battered. It was no different from countless others in attics and college dormitories everywhere, except that this one contained the decapitated body of a young woman. The gruesome discovery was made Tuesday. Residents of the Hudson View apartment in Fishkill were enjoying the 60-degree temperature on the sunny first day of spring. I don't think I could eat, said one resident who had taken a quick look at the torso as police stuffed it into a huge yellow plastic bag. The trunk, which was discovered by maintenance workers for the apartment complex at about 1 p.m., was lying alongside a huge garbage dumpster facing the row of garden apartments. Neighbors huddled in groups in the unpaved cul-de-sac. I wonder if there's maybe over here? I don't know. Cul-de-sac, or let's see, the other story's right there. Or neighbors huddled in groups on the unpaved cul-de-sac or sat on stoops, some talking in hushed tones, but all said they were expressing shock at the morbid discovery in front of building number 2. That tells you where that was. Is that, are there street view down here? Yeah, that looks almost exactly like that apartment that one girl was killed in. Man, that's so weird on that college campus. Well, it's hard to know. Maybe that's just right up here at the top. Yeah, can't really see what it says there. Can't tell there either. Yeah, I don't know which one is building 1 or 2, but definitely these are all apartments right here. This whole situation, whole bunch of units in here. But anyways, it's right up there in this area, so it's kind of crazy that somebody would drive a trunk with a headless body with no hands and dump it in there. Like, hey everybody, here it is. I want you to notice it. Didn't even put it in the dumpster. I look at it, I can't believe one human being can be so cruel to another. It's very unnerving to come home from work to find out they found a body in my front yard. Claude Jean, also of building number 4, had allowed state police to use his apartment as a temporary command post. He was telling his neighbors how he almost bumped into the trunk the night before while he was parking his car. I guess it was there the night before. He said he wondered at the time, why would someone bring the trunk so close to the dumpster and not throw it in? It was very depressing to discover a brutally murdered body so close to his home. I feel pretty sad that it could happen in this area. Kathy Goring, a resident of building number 2, and his apartment faces the dumpster where the trunk was found, said the area in front of her building was dark at night. She pointed to the closest street light, which was approximately 200 feet from the dumpster, and said it was too close, or it was too far away to effectively illuminate an area that so many residents used. Alright, so get rid of that one. And then here's another, that's a better picture of the trunk right there. That's the one that's on the thumbnail. State police concentrated on an old streamer trunk Friday in hopes of finding clues into the bizarre murder of a woman whose headless body was found Thursday inside the trunk in an apartment complex here. The nude body, which was also missing both hands, was discovered by maintenance workers at the Hudson View Park Apartments off Route 9D. The woman was described as being in her mid-20s. You know, I think she was in her mid-20s, 5'5". This one here just seems to be like a recap of what we just went over. Then that was on those two articles were the 21st, 22nd, and she went missing on the 18th. And then this one here is on the 28th right here. Cops seek trunk clues in upstate torso slang. New York State Police are seeking assistance in identifying the headless and handless body of a woman found last week in Fishkill, jammed into a steamer trunk, and has been traced to Greenwich Village. Police said the body had been virtually drained of blood and that the head and hands apparently were severed to prevent identification. The body was found March 20th at the Hudson View Park apartment complex in Fishkill, police said last night. They said they believe the woman was slain 2 days earlier. You know, it's weird too because, you know, she was reported missing, so did they have anybody in that investigation that they were curious about? And so this would have been somebody that would have known her, and people knew that they knew, you know, like for example, you know, this person must have believed that other people, by identifying her, would lead to him. So cut her head off and her hands, put her in the trunk. Unless it's a serial killer, then they don't really care about those kind of things. The woman was described as about 25 years old, 5'5", weighing 140 pounds, and with dark brown hair. The shoe size is interesting. One state police detective said 4.5 to 5. That's small for a woman that size. Police said the nude body was very clean. The trunk was traced to a Greenwich Village resident who told police that he lost the trunk back in 1960. It bore a shield-shaped sticker of the French line vessel Flander and had been used as a transatlantic crossing from New York to Le Havre, I don't know if it's Le Havre, France, in 1958. Le Havre or something? I don't know how you pronounce that. It also bore Cunard line stickers pasted on for the return trip. So police said the trunk is 21 inches wide and 37 inches long and 14 inches deep. It has a blue fabric lining with no design and was in good condition. Police requested anyone with information call a number. It was the second case involving a headless, handless bodies in New York metropolitan area in the past 4 months. The torsos of 2 women were found last December in a Times Square motel. One was later identified as a Trenton, New Jersey woman with a police record as a prostitute. So there you go. I mean, that could be exactly the same thing here. You got 2 women that were murdered. They were found in a hotel room, no attempt to hide them. So maybe this is somebody that picked up a sex worker, but I don't think this girl was a sex worker. That's the thing. That's what you might think, though, if you were reading that. And then April of 1980. So it says police agencies in 6 states seek leads in murder. State police here have enlisted the help of police agencies in 6 states in an attempt to uncover leads in the murder of a young woman whose headless body was found last month in a trunk outside an apartment building. The woman's hands, as well as her head, were cut off before the nude body was dumped in a trunk and left next to a trash receptacle at the Hudson View Park apartment. So that is the one. Off Route 90. A maintenance crew found a trunk on March 20th. The head and hands of the body have not been found, making identification nearly impossible because the body has no birthmarks. Senior investigator Ryder Fairchild of the State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation said Thursday he has sent a description of the body and the trunk in which it was found to every police agency in New York. So far, he said, we have nothing solid. Fairchild said a less detailed description of the woman and the crime is also sent routinely on the nationwide police teletype system. So there you go. And then, I mean, I always think it's fun, and interesting to go back in time to read how it was going at the time. Woman's body found in trunk. I guess this is from like late September, but I hadn't heard of it. With missing head, hands in 1980, ID'd as missing New York City woman. The identity of a woman found without her head and hands in a grisly murder has finally been solved. More than 42 years ago, troopers with the New York State Police responded to a travel trunk found near a dumpster at the Hudson View Park apartment complex. It doesn't say it here, but that's the reality. New York, at about 70 miles north of Manhattan. Little could be ascertained about the body of the woman inside, who became known as Dutchess County Jane Doe because her head and hands were never found. Earlier this year, Othram Labs, Texas-based company specializing in forensic-grade genome sequencing, was asked by the FBI to take a look at the Jane Doe DNA. Experts created a DNA profile which led federal and state investigators down a genealogical line of inquiry. On May 26, state police determined that Duchess Jane Doe was Ann L. Pappalardo Blake, a 44-year-old New York City woman reported missing to the New York Police Department on March 18, 1980, which is 3 days before that suitcase was found. It's just crazy, right? Pappalardo Blake worked as a receptionist at the Vidal Sassoon Salon on 5th Avenue in Manhattan and was last seen leaving her place of employment at 6 p.m. On March 20th, 1980, 2 days after Pappalardo Blake's disappearance, a then unidentified body was found in that trunk in Fishkill. Officials with the Dutchess County Medical Examiner's Office theorized that Jane Doe was in her mid-20s, weighed approximately 135 pounds, and stood 5 feet 6 inches tall. Much of the forensic investigation focused on the trunk in which the woman was found, which was believed to have been placed near the dumpster between noon and 10 p.m. On March 18th, the same day Pappalardo Blake disappeared, according to NamUs. The case was green. The case was green with black trim and brass fittings, etc., etc. So we already went over it, but isn't that crazy? So after all those years, she was found. Now they can, they must have done an investigation back then. So that could be somebody that's actually like that she was dating or seeing or somebody. And maybe she didn't want to date the person anymore, but they never found her body. So it's like, hey, she could have just taken off, so they never led anywhere. But now if they take a look back at the missing person report and any investigation they did at the time, if they did any, maybe it might lead to something, right? So that's pretty crazy. That's kind of why we want to do, some of these other cases that we're doing where we're identifying, specifically the Addison County Doe case. That one might actually lead to the killer because they were never reported missing back in 1934. Not that we know of, anyways. Now, what's this one? Suspect arrested, charged with murder in, I don't know what the, oh wait, oh, in that case, hold on a second. Did they catch him? Okay, this just came in from Scott Holland. In this case, there was an arrest made. They caught the guy, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's Orange County. The Orange County Sheriff's Office has arrested a 17-year-old suspect in connection to the shooting deaths of the teenage Lyric Woods and Devin Clark. Authorities said Wednesday Sheriff Charles Blackwood announced the juvenile had been detained. In a statement Wednesday afternoon, we hope this apprehension provides some relief in the family. Man, it took him a long time to make that arrest. So, there you go. Awesome. There's the guy right there, huh? I think. Actually, I don't know. It kind of cut off right there, but well, it's good to know. Maybe we'll take a look at that one tomorrow. We'll get more information that comes in. But yes, we were following this one when it happened. Let's see what this says right here.
We have the latest on the breaking news. First here at 5, a juvenile suspect now in custody weeks after the murder of these two teenagers in Orange County. Chopper 11 back over the trail where they were found. A growing memorial to those young victims is happening tonight.
Have been really invested.
I don't know if this is probably old right here. Doesn't sound like they're talking about the arrest, but looks like they finally caught the person, and you know that is going to be the killer. It's not going to be somebody else. Or Gray, wait for. Well, we just know, you know, the way that one panned out with the, you know, the digital information tells the story there. Okay, so there was good news in the previous story. Before that was the identification after 42 years. It's such a great feeling to be part of that. That's why, like I always say on this channel, we raise funds every single night. Allows me to keep doing the shows, and I think you guys realize that I donate a huge portion of the income that comes into the charities every month, and that's why we're at $101,000 from the income from the channel, not fundraisers, not anything like that, since 2021. You're more than welcome to always, you know, send in your money straight to charities and whatnot. But if you would like to help my channel out, knowing that, you know, I usually figure out a way to be able to donate quite a bit of money at the end of the month, then if you'd like to help out, that'd be great. The super chat, there's no revenue on this channel other than you guys, right? So if you can afford it, and if you can't afford it, just hit the you know, the like button, subscribe, do whatever you can. But if you can't afford it, you guys are the only source of income that there is on the channel. So when I'm doing shows on nights, and you know, it's sort of like I'm still doing a 4-hour show, and sometimes it gets really slow. It gets that's the part that feels bad. You know, it's like, you know, I'm still putting information out there, even though it's not, maybe it's not the sexiest case in the world that you were just so wanting to talk about for the 19th time. It still needs to be kind of the same every single night, or we can't make what happens, right? So there's my my nightly my spiel. Okay, yeah, channel memberships, super chats, PayPals, they all help out. Right? Even the amazing people on Patreon that keep doing it. It's getting less and less over there. I think most people are sort of transitioning over to YouTube, but Patreon at least didn't take so much money. Okay, but we're not talking about that one, Nurse Mama. So I have a link to that one now. Yeah. Well, I guess that's it, everybody. Have a good evening. Everybody quit chatting and it just went. Jesus. Hey, thanks, Annabelle, still. Thank you. You want to hear more of this lady? I don't know what that means. I want to hear more of this lady. I was just kidding, Sherry. I'm going to keep going here. That was a joke. What's even more disheartening is after I give my spiel, how it just doesn't do anything. All right, so here we're going to do, we're going to, I think the best way to start this is, I did the press conference again, but I processed the surveillance footage and put some filters to make the contrast better, so you can kind of see it a little bit clearer. Right, 2 lives in a day, and it's just like this. Alright, let's see. I get. Oops. Wow. I'm going to do this one right here. This one has a better. We didn't watch this one all the way in. Thanks, Mary Glaviano. Welcome, Kimberly Ann. And thanks for the spiel wave. Oh, and look at that. Quietly frozen. Oh, man. Jesus. Thank you.
Chewbacca?
A spiel. Thanks, Grant, for covering so many cases.
If you want me to.
This
Yeah.
I think basic generous colon underscore basic boom colon underscore basic generous.
Thank you.
Spiel wave, waving hand, ocean wave, heart.
We can have the cat. There we go.
Thanks, Gray, for covering so many.
Yeah, that's
cases.
probably true, Dan, because
All
he was
that
44 years
Grey
old.
juice.
I don't know how they were able to. That's such a bad determination. I mean, somebody 44 years old, you'd think there'd be. Yeah, I mean, what did she live in like a spa and it just was totally, I mean, youthful. I mean, it's pretty. 44 years old, you seem like there's some technical bone structures and things that would have shown up. Thank you, Michelle Griggs. What the heck? What's going on, man? You guys are awesome. Quietly double dare wave. Oh, there we go. Oh, jeez. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Gotta put that in there.
Quietly double dare wave.
Dreaming girl. How's it going, dreaming girl? It's cool to see, you know, some of the old regulars coming back at times. Do you guys ever notice that, like, we cover stuff and then it always pops up on these other places, like, almost immediately? Oh my god, ooh, look at that one. That looks really interesting. Ooh. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. And thank you so much, the Velvet Army. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah, and it just sounds so familiar when you're watching it. It's like, wow. It's almost like I watched this entire show before. Huh. Wow, with almost every aspect of it. Yeah. It's good times, good times. Gray, are you saying people can't have the same thoughts? Well, yeah. I mean, you'd hope people, you know, there's people out there, but it's just when every single element that you talked about shows up. You know, I guess that's the... All right, here we go. Let's just move it forward. I'm going to move it to right when they start talking on this one. I think she was doing the white screen. People hold up a white piece of paper and then you do the white balance on it. I think that's what she's doing with that. Well, one of these times she held it up, I thought. But right there you go. That's it. Hey, thanks, Kubi.
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
All right, here we go. So let's try to really
Thank you and good morning.
everything that they're
first and
saying.
foremost, with the folks from the media, you're
So again, I fixed the audio here.
going to see family here. I would appreciate it if you would respect their privacy in this, and you'll have time to talk with them later after the investigation is complete. We would like you to respect their privacy and let it go at that.
No, you guys aren't doing the double dog. Don't do the double dog dare. Okay, thanks. Thank you guys, though.
October 3rd at approximately 11:39 a.m., the California Highway Patrol and CAL FIRE were dispatched to Buhack Road and Oakdale Road in Winton for a report of a vehicle fire. After they responded to the fire, Highway Patrol their privacy and let it go at that. On October 3rd at approximately 11:39 a.m., the California Highway Patrol...
Been a while, but still best and only real true crime CHNL on YIT.
Which one is that? Hold on. What was that one right there? What was that one? It didn't show up on the screen. Hold on, I gotta find it. That was awesome. They just gave out the address. I gotta get something on that. Hold on. It's so weird. Was that a Streamlabs deal? And thank you to TTJO, Jan H, and Sarah Terry. Thank you very much on PayPal, and also Paulette Leonard. Thank you. So what was that? Who just did that one? Anybody remember? Who just did that one? Yeah, remember that? They got rid of those, Zozo. They quit using that. Who did that? Was that M22 who did that? It was me. Oh, I just prefer Streamlabs. Oh, yeah, it's cool. How much was it, M22? I couldn't see it. I got to put the your spins in the text file over here. Thanks, Rio Nazarone and Scott Holland. Thanks for that information, Scott. We read it a minute ago. Hope all is well there. Man, I've been playing terrible right now, Scott. I gotta do some range time. Oh, it's 5. Okay, let me put that in there. M22. That was crazy. That voice that came in, right? M22, the sniper rifle. I remember that. Okay.
And CAL FIRE were dispatched to Buhack Road and Oakdale Road in Winton for a report of a vehicle fire. Dispatched to Buhack Road and Oakdale Road.
Buhack and Oakdale. Okay, let's get that one. Oops. That's not the one. Shit. How do you think you spell Buhack? B-U... Buhack, C-H, and Oak. What was that again? Let's get the... We gotta get the car location.
Approximately 11:39 a.m., the California Highway Patrol and CAL FIRE were dispatched to Buhack Road and Oakdale Road.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Wow, so, yeah, that's crazy. So I think the body's in the other, or if they're, you know, it sounds like this isn't going to be a good outcome. Just saying. You already got it. Burned vehicle. Alright. So it's down here. He lived in Atwater up here. So I would think that they would have put, you know, if they're not alive, they're down in, the, you know, at least down in this area. I don't know. It's really kind of crazy a little bit. I think they lived right here. One of the family members did, anyways. And then the kidnapper lived in Atwater. So let's get back to here. Okay, now we can play it.
Went in for a report of a vehicle fire. After they responded to the fire, Highway Patrol determined who the registered owner was and found out that they lived in the city of Merced, and they requested the city of Merced Police Department respond to the address and try and contact the registered owner. When the police department got to the house, nobody responded. However, they did make communication with a family member. That family member then started to make calls to the people that we were looking for. At this particular moment in time, we have not had any reports of missing. Responded. However, they did road and went in for a report of a vehicle fire. After they responded to the fire, Highway Patrol determined who the registered owner was and found out that they lived in the city of Merced, and they requested the city of Merced Police Department respond to the address and try and contact the registered owner. When the police department got to the house, nobody responded. However, they did make communication with a family member. That family member then started to make calls to the people
sorry,
that
I keep missing what I wanted to hear.
Said police department respond to the address and try and contact the
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. I'm gonna put some notes in here. We gotta get the notes. I'm not gonna do it on the screen. I'll put them in later though. So let's see. Okay, so then there was a vehicle fire at, and we've got this address right here. Police found the registered owner and address. Then
registered owner. When the police department got to the house, nobody responded.
Okay, nobody responded at the house. Nobody responded at the house. What's going on? You guys got to tell me how much you're putting in there so I can... Oh, that was Scott Holland.
What's your favorite golf? Golf flag, golfer, ball?
Oh, that just came in.
Towards your next dozen.
Well, thank you. Very cool. I've actually switched over to... I'm going to try Pro V1X now, see what happens with it.
However, they did make communication with a family member. That family member then started to make calls to the people that we were looking for. At this particular moment in time, we have not had any reports of missing persons. It wasn't until the family reached out to us, and then after their several attempts made to report the family missing. At approximately 1:04 p.m., our office was notified and responded to the business on South 59. When our patrol staff, sergeants, and deputies got
What was the time of
One,
that
two-
fire, by the way? Hold on, let me get that.
COR.
and CAL FIRE were complete. We would like you
I think it was
to
like 11
respect their
something.
privacy and let it go at that. On October 3rd at approximately 11:39 a.m., the California Highway Patrol and CAL FIRE were dispatched to Buhack Road and Oakdale Road in Winton for a report of a vehicle fire. After they responded to the fire, Highway Patrol determined who the registered owner was and found out that they lived in the city of Merced, and they requested the city of Merced Police Department respond to the address and try and contact the registered owner. When the police department got to the house, nobody responded. However, they did make communication with a family member. That family member then started to make calls to the people that we were looking for. At this particular moment in time, we have not had any reports of missing persons. It wasn't until the family reached out to us, and then after their several attempts made to report the family missing. At approximately 1:04 p.m., our office was notified and responded to the business on South 59. When our patrol staff, sergeants, and deputies got on scene, they made a determination that we probably had a crime, and through investigative leads, they brought detectives in, and they were able to determine that a kidnapping had in fact occurred. At that time, the investigation started. Undersheriff, you want to take over there?
So while our investigators were out on Highway 59, family continued to reach out to the three missing people. They were able to make contact with someone on one of the phones. That phone was with a farmer that was out in the area of Henry Miller and Elgin, north of Dos Palace.
Wow. Jeez. Okay, let's get this all in here. So that was Henry Miller and what was that again?
Was with a farmer that was out in the area of Henry Miller and Elgin.
Henry Miller and Elgin. There it is. Oh man, they got them spread out. See, now we are south down here. So they must have been held somewhere at some point. So somewhere down here is where the cell phone was found. God, this is getting nuts. I'd like to just get everything in order. Hope you guys don't mind. At least now we can. Cell phone found by a farmer. Family called the phone and made contact with farmer. Thank you, Candalee Woodward Stone. Thanks everybody. Thanks for joining. Nomad Beads by Rhonda.
Chewbacca?
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca, if you want me to.
Prayers for the family. Folded hands.
Candalee Woodward Stone. Okay, here we go.
North of Dos Palace. Investigators at the scene continue to look at investigative leads, and we're able to get into the surveillance system. And so we'd like to go over the surveillance system with you.
Okay, this is where I edited it to make it more, a little bit better contrast. That's all I adjusted, by the way.
So at 8:30 a.m., we can see Jazdeep arrive in a brown minivan.
Thanks, Eugenie. After they zoom in, obviously. I sent an email. I want the originals, because it's so clear. You can tell it's like 4K. I mean, it's just.
At 8:39,
so I've already applied the filter
you
here.
see Amandeep. He arrives in his black Dodge pickup. It's down in the corner. You can see the pickup here. These cameras are motion sensitive, and they go off every 30 seconds once they detect motion, so that some of the video is choppy.
Let me guess I'm eating an apple, and I forgot that my mic was on.
At 8:58, you see Jasdeep come out the back door, and it's very important to note there's someone walking down South Highway 59
Yeah, so you can
south.
see everything a lot better with the filter that
We're
I
not
put
sure
on.
if the
for
dog
sure.
alerted him, if there was some type of motion sensor or some type of app on his phone, the why he came out and looked. At 8:59, this is the other side. You can see a subject walking down south on Highway 59 at the business. And you'll see Jasdeep come out, and he appears to be on his phone, and we're not sure, again, if he's got a motion or what's alerting him to come outside.
So subject walks south on 59. Jasdeep goes outside and meets the suspect. Suspect follows Jasdeep back, staying behind him. You'll see that here in a second.
Jasdeep goes over and makes contact with our suspect, and then you'll see them walking back over.
See, I really
the
think that they
building.
know the person, right? And one of the, I think his name was Gino,
He's got
came
this
on.
trash bag in his hand
I guess he said that he's
as Jeep walks up.
one of the
to
original
building.
truck drivers just from not too
Oh,
long
good
ago,
deal.
actually. But I guess they probably fired him or
Photo of our
something.
suspect.
Then suspect
And you'll continue to walk up
drops
the ramp.
bag
You'll put down the trash bag, and you'll see right there
ramp, and pulls
pulls
out
out
gun.
a firearm. He then enters the business.
Suspect.
Unfortunately, there's no cameras
Enters.
inside of the business,
So it's
so
309.
we have no video surveillance inside.
Okay. So suspects enters at 309. Wait. 9. Wait.
At 9:11, the back door opens.
Dude, I said that wrong. 9:02. Must be AM, I would imagine. AM. Then at 9:11, 29 AM, the back door opens.
You'll see the suspect come out, and you'll see the firearm. And then it also appears that Jasdeep and Amandeep are zip tied behind their backs.
And there they go. So almost at 9:12. It's so weird how casual it feels.
Jasdeep and Amandeep are put in the back seat of the pickup truck.
Just 9:12. Yeah, 15. Both men are put into back of truck. Then at 9:12.
All right, so that was
33.
9:13 when the vehicle left. It's now 9:19. The truck is back.
9:19. Truck is back. But I think he's
Same suspect
alone.
gets out of the vehicle,
Here.
goes back inside the business.
I mean, it's possible there's somebody in there, but I don't think so. Truck is back.
Less than a minute later, you're going to see Jasleen and Arohi come out of the business unrestrained.
So he walks in there at, let me pause that. Right there it is 9:19 and 19 seconds. 9:19, 19. Suspect enters back door.
Business unrestrained.
Then 9:19 and 30, so 17 seconds later. 9:19, 36. Suspect with woman and baby. I didn't remember him saying the names. Hold on, let me go back a little bit. It's weird how that door is, the wind's affecting it there. You can see it kind of going back and forth. So 17 seconds. He's got a gun. And she doesn't appear to have any restraints on her at all. Holding her baby. Okay. So what is a little odd here, no matter how you want to try to spin it, I mean, you could say that, you know, all you have to do is threaten her, say, you know, I mean, she's carrying a baby also, so she's going to comply, but I guess one of the things, you look over here and the door's open, and he's walking around just so casually, then she gets in and shuts the door there. I mean, I don't know. See, to me, it's like, okay, yeah, that's what people do. They shut the door. It just seems so weird, you know. It feels odd, but it could just be the whole, you're being threatened. But look how the door's open, and she literally shuts it to get in, and this guy walks around so casually. And if you look back here, he's already taken his hoodie off and everything. He doesn't seem as nervous about keeping his identity. Maybe he felt like he came in the back door and the surveillance was in the front and he didn't realize there was a camera back here, and he already knows that he's going to, you know, maybe kill these people, and so he doesn't really care if she recognizes him or not. Because if you remember at the beginning when he walked in, watch this. Look at how he looks up at the camera, and then he's got his hoodie on and stuff. He might not have realized there was one back here. And here he doesn't even seem to care as much that the hoodie's on his head. And then later on when he comes back, he doesn't seem to care at all. He just has the, you know, the COVID mask on, which he probably doesn't need to have on. So that's definitely left on to hide his identity. Yeah, but it's, you know, like he just said, yeah, would you shut the door? I mean, the part that's weird is why didn't he shut the door? He just sort of casually walks around the front and then gets into the car. Like, I don't know, just... Like, he walks around casually, then she shuts the door, but why wouldn't he make sure the door is shut? You know what I mean? I guess that's where it's a little odd. But anyway, so this car pulls out and then it heads south. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Just the little, you know, little oddities there. They all can be explained.
Southbound Highway 59, right before the
things you look at, like, that's weird. You know, she doesn't have her hand. You know, there's nothing handcuffing her, but of course the baby is basically a restraint. You know, you're just gonna hold the baby.
From this point on,
right?
we no longer see any of the 4 victims on video at the location or the suspect vehicle or the suspect.
Let me see what time that was again. That was 9:20 and like
Point on, we
32.
no longer see any of the 4 victims on video at the location or the suspect vehicle or the suspect.
Yeah.
At that point, we assigned all of our detectives, including
Yeah,
our
except
investigators.
here's what I think. This is what I think happened. I said it on the earlier show. Is that when the suspect went in there with a gun, he forced the 2 men, one man to tie the other man up. Then the wife tied up the second man. Then he just merely tied up the female himself. And the baby, you're not going to tie up a baby. You don't need to tie up an 8-month-old baby. You know, so it's just, that's how it probably went. And he said, if you say anything at all, I'm going to kill both of them or something, right? So then he's gone for only 6 minutes, comes back. She's just sitting there. He cuts off the ties, allows her to grab her baby, because that holding a baby is basically handcuffs. You're not going to just drop the baby and start running somewhere. So, you know, she carries the baby, gets into the car, and they go somewhere else, right?
Investigations Bureau, our supervised release team, our STAR team, and along with the county magnet to this investigation. They also were able to get the FBI along with the California Department of Justice involved, and we've been working on this case diligently from the moment that we were informed of the missing. From that point, we worked on several investigative leads, which led us to an incident that occurred in the city of Atwater yesterday, just prior to noon. During that incident, the city of Atwater received information that there was an individual in the city that may be connected to this case. Prior to the law enforcement arriving on scene,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what, you know, the one comment that Morgan made up there about once the 2 guys are gone, you know, she's not a big a threat to him. He's the one that tied her up. He knew he could easily do it. And plus there's a baby, and all you have to do is threaten the baby and that kind of thing, and people are going to comply. You wouldn't leave the guy be the one that you're going to tie up, right? I don't know if there's other comments made. I was just reading the one.
Soldado made an attempt on his life and was taken. There was an individual in the city that may be involved, and we've been working on this case diligently from the moment that we were informed of the missing. From that point, we worked on several investigative leads, which led us to an incident that occurred in the city of Atwater yesterday, just prior to.
Well, LM, you should have gifted yourself one.
During that incident, the city of Atwater received information that there was an individual in the city that may be connected to this case. Prior to the law enforcement arriving on scene, that subject, Jesus Soldado, made an attempt on his life and was taken by ambulance to the hospital for medical treatment. Since then, we've been unable to speak to the suspect in this case due to his medical condition, his attempt on his own life. I'll turn it back over to the sheriff for any other questions.
We are currently with the suspect now at the medical treatment facility, waiting for the doctors to get him to a point where he can cooperate. We're hoping that he will cooperate, because first and foremost, we want the family back. So that's where we are.
They're scattering stuff all over the place, the killer is, because the cell phone was found down here. And probably what happened in that situation was there might have been another vehicle involved, and there might be somebody that was holding the other 2 in this general area here. Because it's only a 6-minute, you have to drive 3 minutes and then 3 minutes back. So it's inside of here. They went south, so somewhere right in this area, there was another vehicle maybe holding the 2 men. Then after he took the women, we don't know for sure that he went south though when he took the men though. That's the thing. I don't know 100% on that. But when he took her, the woman, and her daughter, or child, they went south here in that direction. So maybe then they all joined and drove maybe together, and then somewhere down here the cell phone is. So that's, I mean, it's just really ominous. So somewhere down in this area, maybe it could even be like over here is where they are. You head fake with the phone over here, then you drive all the way up to the burned vehicle was like, obviously there was 2 cars again, so probably driving in a convoy or separate, but just meet me over here. And you know, their truck was burned right here. And so, and he lived here, so you're trying to spread things around to confuse people. Cell phone here, burn there. So, you know, maybe they're in this area or over here, you know, so maybe do something like, and it's a little too close maybe to the cell phone there, but you know, maybe something up in there. I'm just guessing, you know. Here, I'll just use a circle, maybe like right around and like right in there. Or maybe over something like over here. Like, I wouldn't think that they'd be up in this area at all. Because the cell phone here indicates that they were in this area at one point, likely, and then just threw it out on a way back from somewhere, or drove a little bit out of the way to toss it to make it look like they were in that area, but they're actually somewhere else. So it's going to be pretty, it's going to be difficult to find them unless one of them is dumb enough to leave their cell phone on, which does happen sometimes.
Point, I'll open any questions.
Sheriff, I see you're talking to the family. How are they doing?
Family's taking it rough as expected, and that's why I asked for your diligence in respecting their privacy in this matter. Let the family deal with the family on this. The media, you guys deal with me, and leave the family alone.
Yep, I said it almost on every show,
we've
Scott.
got a lot of people here supporting the family, and this right now, until we can get our loved ones back, that's where we're at with this. So let us.
Yeah, I mean, the part about coming back, like Ellen said, you know, you're coming back. You took the 2 guys. They run the business. But she's a witness. So she recognizes him. She knows who he is. You know, but if the baby was murdered, you know, that's just psycho shit right there. Because the babies don't know any. You know, at 8 months old, you don't go, oh, that was Joe. You know, you don't know who anybody is. Okay.
Handle you guys as far as media. Leave the family out of it. Appreciate that. The family has taken a pretty rough, but the family is very, very supportive of what we're doing and supplying whatever they can as far as any information that would help us get their loved ones back.
Yeah, I mean, maybe before the phone was broken, it tracked for a while, so there might be, you know, maybe it was thrown out. Likely it was thrown out before their bodies were put somewhere. I mean, it's hard to know.
We don't have any evidence to say that he didn't. However, 43 years doing this, everything points to that it was probably somebody else, but we don't know until we get some kind of conversation going with the suspect. We're not 100%. It's just that seeing everything that's gone on, I fully believe that there was at least one other person involved, but we don't have any evidence to support that. It's just the circumstances surrounding this. I believe that there is. We don't know.
Yeah, the distances, things are.
Not yet, and that's what we're hoping for with hopefully a conversation with the suspect. We don't have a motive. I can tell you that our suspect has a prior history of robbery, and he was actually convicted of it in 2005, and once he was sentenced, he was paroled in 2015. And since the parole, we have not had any major contact with this person at all. But we kind of figure that that's what the motive is right now until we prove otherwise. That it's almost always what you can come out is a financial, trying to.
Is he cooperating?
We haven't, so far he's been sedated, but we've had deputies on scene the entire time he's been in the medical facility, and as soon as he is able to, the doctors know that there's a rush on this, so everybody's been very supportive and cooperative, but right now we've got to get this person into a position where we can start asking questions and hopefully get some answers.
Did we get any, what kind of car did he drive with?
The only vehicle that we had that was sustained was the black Dodge belonging to our family. And any others, we've got some possible leads. We think we have a gray pickup involved, but until we get evidence to really tie it in, that's where we are. Again, we're sharing everything we have with you, and normally, I'll tell you right now, we wouldn't be sharing all of this. We want the family back. So at this point in time, that's all my focus is to get the family back. So we want anybody with any information to reach out, come to us, and I know we have our tip line number here somewhere, and we'll get that to you so that the folks can call in for tips. Give me that.
309-385-7547.
You guys get that? Okay. That's our tip line. Our dispatch center has been inundated. Please call the tip line. For any folks that are watching this, please call that tip line, and that number or the information will be directed immediately to somebody that can follow up on any tips that come in. And we're following every tip that comes in, to include our psychics that are calling in.
Oh God. Oh God. They just increased their phone calls tenfold here, you know? Hold on. Stupid. Yep. Oh, killing a little buddy. Man. Batshit. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Literally. So we're not leaving any stone unturned, any blade of grass.
He was doing so
Everything
well
we have
until that.
is out there. Our air unit's been out constantly on this. The city of Atwater, as one of their officers, is one of our pilots, and been very diligent in getting that support in. The city of Atwater, tremendous help in making sure that we keep that aircraft in the air to do whatever we can. California Highway Patrol, as you can see, they're here. We've got the FBI and DOJ involved in this. We've got dozens of law enforcement personnel working day and night for this. We keep going until it's concluded, and that's just how it goes. I mean, literally, there's not 5 o'clock we go home. It's not that way with us. They continue on until they run out of leads.
The farmer that found one of the cell phones, what, if anything, did that farmer say?
That he found the phone in the middle of the street, okay? And that was all that was to it. Unfortunately, the family had called that number, and he answered. That's how we got the information. We sent a detective and got possession of those phones. Yes, sir. No, no, in that, yeah. Just in some other videos that we're seeing, and just like I say, everything that we've got, that's what we're going on. We had one, and we're looking into that. So, like I say, everything that we have that could be possible, everything is on the table. Nothing's off the table, sir. No, he attempted suicide prior to any law enforcement contact. The family had told our suspect that they had in fact contacted law enforcement because of what he had told them, and rather than talk with law enforcement, he had told our... Nothing's off the table, sir. No, he attempted suicide prior to any law enforcement.
Attempted suicide before any law enforcement contact.
The family had told our suspect.
The family had told our suspect. I gotta get this quote here. The family had told our suspect
That they had in fact contacted law enforcement.
that they had, in fact, called law. Okay, so they knew who this person was. Okay? So the brothers, when they're on a show, they're not telling the truth. Probably they were told not to.
Because of what he had told them?
Okay, that they had in fact called law enforcement because of what he told them. Okay, so they got a hold of him. He told them something that sounded suspicious. Then they called law enforcement. Then they called him back and told him that. Then he tried to kill himself before law enforcement got there. Does that make sense?
And rather than talk with law enforcement, he attempted to take his own life. No, I will. We know how. We're not sharing that in case we have other information coming in that can tie. He had told them, and rather than talk with law enforcement, he attempted to take his own life. No. I will. We know how. We're not sharing that in case we have other information coming in that can tie into that directly. So that's why we're holding that in. But we can tell you that he attempted to take his own life.
How far from the crime scene?
It was at a house in the city of Atwater. It wasn't anywhere near the crime scene. Yes, ma'am.
Well, there's actually multiple crime scenes. It's not just where they were kidnapped from.
All false imprisonment. There's a difference between false imprisonment and kidnapping. False imprisonment is stationary, so I go into your house, hold you there, can't make you leave or won't let you leave. That's false imprisonment. Kidnapping is I take you out of your house.
You just listen, I guess.
And that was
what do you mean?
also,
why no? I don't know.
Armed robbery.
I don't know why sometimes there's no caption on my shows, but it doesn't say it on there.
And just so happens, Under Sheriff Gibson was the detective that worked that case.
I have all the settings turned on.
It's a trucking company. No, I don't believe it. That's involved at all. At this point, we have nothing to indicate other than we think always money until we are proven otherwise. So, and again, we're hoping to find out today as soon as possible by our suspect. Hopefully he will cooperate with us and give us some information. Right now, the big question and the first question is asked, where's the family? And that's where we're going. So I shared with the family.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have to worry about.
You know, like we're all hopeful that the family is still alive, right? But when you consider that the phone was thrown over here, the car was burned. That's a horrible red flag. And you know, it's just. It's not looking good. I mean, there's always a chance, right? But I mean, and then he tried to kill himself. So he tried to kill himself. He burned the vehicle. You know, so it makes you think that maybe it is possible that the two guys were still in the vehicle when they came back, and maybe he merely took them to an ATM machine to get money or something. Then he drove back. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if there's what the nearest ATM. I mean, maybe we could look at something. I mean, this is the spot. Is there a bank? You know, let's say nearest bank here. Yeah. Okay. Nearest bank. Let's see, what's the name of this town? Merced. Banks in Merced. Because they did go to a bank. So there's a bunch right there. And I doubt he would have gone to those. You'd go to the closest one. And how far is that? Bing, bing, bing. Let's just say, you know, just generally in this area, we've got 2 miles. I mean, how perfect is that, right? So you got 2 minutes there. You get out of the car, you put the card in, and get back in the car, and then drive back, and you're back in 6 minutes. All right, so let's just say that that's where they went. Because apparently he was on a bank ATM camera. Well, yeah, I don't know. That sounded like a bank ATM. I don't know, whatever. But, you know, 2 minutes. This is just totally, you know, speculation here. But one of these, and you get out, you withdraw the money, you get back in the car, and those guys are still in the vehicle, and you're not going to leave a guy back there because you're threatening to kill one of them. If one of them stays back, something would happen. So you take both of them with you, and then he gets back here, right at, when you look at that, you go, what do you mean right there? Well, the thing is earlier in the day, if you missed it, you have to go to the most recent satellite image. And this is it being built still, even in June of this year. It's not completed. You know, the dog is barking out here. There's all kinds of other stuff going on, fences and so forth. And then if you go back to April of 2021, there is absolutely nothing here. It's just an open area. But as you saw in the previous show, when you go down to Street View here, the most amazing thing, I couldn't believe it, is here they are. This is the family members, some of them. And that's the actual truck right there. This is them just kind of inspecting the land they bought in April of 2021, looking at it. And that's the truck right there that they were all made to get into. Is that the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life or what? I couldn't believe it. Maybe not in your entire life, but that is pretty weird, right? Like, what are the odds out of all the times the Google Earth car could have been driving by that the family is out there inspecting the land that they just built on? Pretty wild, right? And that was on the previous show if you missed it. So let's say after the ATM, they come back and like some people are thinking it's possible that they're still in the vehicle, let's say. I'm just using that as a theory. Then at that point, they come back to get her because he's got the money, and then gets her and the child out. I don't know why he didn't just leave she probably wouldn't leave the baby. That's the thing. Maybe she even thought if she had the baby, he wouldn't do something. Who the hell knows how that worked. And after that, they head south. And so then that sort of makes sense. Heading south, we don't have any idea at that point how far they could have driven. Way down 59, the cell phone was found over here. So these aren't really roads. I mean, some of these are, I guess, but there's a river blocking it. So you would have probably gone down all the way to 59 here, then crossed over right here on 152, and then sort of, cut up into these side roads here. And that's why the cell phone's here. And I don't know. I mean, there's a river here. Maybe they were put into this river, the San Joaquin River, their bodies. I mean, that would actually make some sense, right? You come down 59 right here. And then right around in this area, maybe sort of head up here and try to put them somewhere in the San Joaquin River. And then dump the cell phone here after you dispose of their body. Or now you would want to get rid of the cell phone before the bodies, actually, because you don't want them to have a tip of where they are. So you would get rid of the cell phone first. Or either that or somebody else was driving another vehicle with the cell phone on and threw it there, and they met up somewhere else. Don't really know. And then after the bodies are disposed of, let's say, I mean, I don't want to, I mean, I sound so negative, but this is just kind of, it just doesn't feel like this is a good scenario here. And then they put the vehicle up here, burned, because there was forensic information. Perhaps they were even all shot inside the vehicle, or just they didn't want any of their DNA left inside the vehicle. That'd be kind of dumb to be driving around if they were shot inside the vehicle, right? So you dump the car up here, burn it to hide any of your information. And then I guess he lived up in Atwater, which is right here. So that, see how that sort of brings you back up near the area you live. So the person picks you up over here and brings you here, but the cell phone is down there, and They're just trying to jumble up the information. So.
Court and everything else. I'm not worried about court right now. We'll deal with court later. I'm worried about getting that family back. And that's how we're focused on this. 100% of our energy is trying to get our family back.
Any businesses nearby who have CCTV over there?
We've checked every business, every residence that we've been able to. We've had a couple where the truck was burned. We're trying to get that, but it's really grainy stuff. We're talking about out in the rural, very rural areas. So every place that's been going on, detectives, all of our people have been trying to get whatever information and whatever videos are available. Yes, sir.
The weapon that was used in the kidnapping, do you have that in possession?
No, that weapon is still outstanding.
Any other victim in their area? Was anybody else in the building at the time?
Everybody in the building that we know of was taken by the suspect with him having a gun in his hand. So the threat of the gun in his hand, we're hoping that because the family cooperated with the suspect. We've checked every business, every residence that we've been able to. We've had a couple where the truck was burned. We're trying to get that, but it's really grainy stuff. We're talking about out in the rural, very rural areas. So every place that's been going on, detectives, all of our people have been trying to get whatever information and whatever videos are available. Yes, sir.
The weapon that was used in the kidnapping, do you have that in possession?
No, that weapon is still outstanding.
Any other victim in their area? Was anybody else in the building at the time?
Everybody in the building that we know of was taken by the suspect with him having a gun in his hand. So the threat of the gun in his hand, we're hoping that because the family cooperated with the suspect, that it will get good results here. That's what we're hoping for at all the times. That's why we're working so hard to make sure that this comes to that conclusion.
Sheriff, you said that money tends to be part of the motive here. Was there anything big or valuable missing from the business?
We haven't determined on anything. Family's been very good about giving us all the records. I will tell you, with the FBI's help, dealing with the local financial institutions has proven challenging, and they're a little bit, I'll say, slow in getting any information to us. They're doing what they can when they can, but what we're finding out is the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. So you got one aspect of the financial institutions got in charge of all the videos. The other hand is doing all the financials.
What's his name again? Jesus?
They don't talk to each other.
Something?
And we've got to have both of those communicate. So we're working on getting that part done. So again,
Salvador
we can
or
only move so
something?
fast as other people, but we're on the ground getting after it. Until we get it, otherwise, to me, almost all crimes
Really?
committed
Hold on,
based
let me get
upon,
that.
You know, the financial aspect.
A
Until we
Delga-
find
is it
something
Delgado?
different. So
Somebody
we're
just
going
said
at it,
above they
eyes
found him,
open.
so. Well, let's go try to find
you know,
it.
everything's on the table. But
Is it Delgado? Are you
that's
sure
the only
about
thing we
that?
can figure out because of this guy's history. Is that was his motivation back then. So I'm figuring it's probably the same now.
And he also was caught at the ATM bank. I mean, what kind of card did he use?
Okay, let's clarify something. With the bank, we know we had a transaction with our family. The bank had two transactions at the exact same time. They gave us a photograph from a different bank. Okay.
Where are they
wasn't
saying
intentional,
that?
wasn't it? But it was.
No,
it
yeah,
was
still
there.
got
so we
it.
got
Right,
that
there you go.
person identified and cleared off the radar. He's no longer a person of interest. So we're hoping to get the other information.
Was that transaction big enough that could be related to a money thing?
It wasn't a lot, but it was still a transaction using our family's
Can you send me a
financial
link
information.
to that?
So that's
Whoever
again
typed that
with the
in
money.
above?
Again,
Oh,
the
you emailed
information
it
we
to
don't
me,
want to
okay.
let out about how much is because we want people, if they got information, we want to know that they're
Pause
telling
this really quick. Jesus, that's crazy. Hold on.
Now, sheriff's deputies have responded to an orchard off Hutchins and Indiana roads near Dos.
So maybe it's right where the phone was. Hutchins and Indiana Road. The orchards were something I was totally eyeing. Wait, really? That's not it. Hutchins Road. Okay, there we go. So now we're down by the cell phone here. So they didn't, let's see, and what was the other road? Hold on one second, let me get back to that. We'll play the whole thing, I just want to get all this information.
Indiana roads near
Indiana Road, Hutchins, and there we go. Oh man, right near the phone, what a bunch of idiots. God, I was trying to pretend that they were smart. That's just dumb as hell right there. Yeah, that's a sad ending, and somebody actually killed an 8-month-old baby. What a God. That's where you don't even, like, you know, when people go, oh, waterboarding's so mean. Yeah, you know what they should do to this guy is, you know, a lot worse than that. What a joke. God. Why would you kill an 8-month-old baby? I can't even imagine a gang or anybody being proud of something like that. Jesus, that's just hideous. And look at, they even have street view in the area. So it's an orchard. So they're saying it's an orchard. Let's go to the, I don't know where the orchard would be right now, but it could be anywhere. Doesn't look like trees or anything in the area, but let's go back. Now let's just listen to the story, Sarah.
Breaking news in Merced County right now. Sheriff's deputies have responded to an orchard off Hutchins and Indiana roads near Dos Palos, where an investigation is underway.
Action News anchor Jessica Harrington joins us live from the scene with what we know so far. Jessica, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Dale and Margot. We don't know much right now, but I can tell you roads are blocked in the area, and just down the road we know that there is law enforcement on scene and the sheriff's helicopter up above circling this orchard. I want to show you some video that we took about 45 minutes.
I always like to pause it because I as soon as I see a landscape, I got to go to the intersection here and look. So they're not, they're just, I don't think it's at this intersection or anything. Those, almost feels like it was over here because there's a mountain range in that one, which you can kind of see back there, but I don't know if that's really what that is or just rise in the, alright, we'll try to find that in a minute.
Minutes ago when we arrived, we've of course been helicopter up above are blocked in the area, and just down the road we know that there is law enforcement on scene and the sheriff's helicopter up above circling this orchard. I want to show you some video that we took about 45 minutes ago when we arrived. We've of course been pushed back multiple times since then, so we're not as close as we were then. What we do know is that Sheriff Warnke is out here on scene. The crime scene investigation unit also arrived. This area is a very rural area, lots of farmland and lots of very two-lane roads. Not much going on out here, but it is between Merced and Dos Palos. Now, of course, we don't know if this is in any way related at all to the family that was kidnapped in Merced County, but we do know that one of the victims' cell phones was found not far from here at Elgin Road and Henry Miller Road. Again, we don't know if it's connected, but we will continue to keep you updated online at abc30.com and tonight on Action News live at 11.
That's crazy.
Now, but I can tell you roads are blocked in the area, and just down the road we know that there is.
Okay. See, one problem is probably the street view is so old. Let's see when it is. Yeah, it's 8 years ago, 9 years ago. So you'd think some things might look the same. This is the intersection they gave, though. I don't know if it's down this way or. Well, maybe they probably just found them just by searching the area. You know, search all orchards and so forth around. I wonder why they gave that intersection right there. See, that's Indiana and Hutchinson Road. or Hutchins Road, I mean. Yeah, man. Problem is in 9 years you can totally change an entire area, so that's one of the problems here. Satellite you can see here, but and there's really no orchards. You know, these are all smaller. So I'm wondering how much different it might. Maybe it's orchard over here. Maybe. It's weird. See right there it says Hutchins and Indiana Road. They're saying they're on right here at that moment. Yeah, I guess it could just be down there, right? I don't see this in the picture of it. Let me go this way a little bit. No, it's kind of too curvy.
There's law enforcement on scene and the sheriff's helicopter up above circling this orchard. I want to show you some video that we took about...
Yeah, so there's definitely mountain range in the background, right? So if you're right here and you look, there's no mountain range over there. None there. Yeah, this way, though, there is something. So it's almost like they're right here. Okay, here's what... Let's go right to here and look left. Down that little road there. Hold on a second. This might be it. Hold on. Oh, I bet you that's it. And look at that. That looks kind of similar a minute ago. And then there's mountains in the back. I'm just guessing. I mean, it does look better. You know, I don't know. It just definitely looks like it could be down there. Because over here there's mountains too, but they're obviously looking in this direction right there. All right, so let's keep going here.
45 minutes ago when we arrived, we've of course been pushed back multiple times since then, so we're not as close as we were then. What we do know is that Sheriff Warnke is out here on scene. The crime scene investigation unit also arrived. This area is a very rural area, lots of farmland and lots of very two-lane roads. Not much going on out here, but it is between Merced and Dos Palos. Now, of course, we don't know if this is in any way related at all to the family that was kidnapped.
Oh, and they got a little curve in there. So let's see. That means they're being held back.
In Merced County, but we do know that one of the...
I think that's where I just saw that curve in the road a minute ago. There, I'm going to just... Because this is 9 years ago. Maybe they made this a little bit more paved or something. I don't know. Let's... They were moved back a little bit further and we were looking at it where it was curving. I think it was right over, right there, right? I think that might be it, because there's that building. I think that's... I don't know. Let's see. Let me get to the little bit further up in here. Because I saw that building in the shot a minute ago. Is there a tree right next to it? Boom. Okay. See right there, there's a tree, and then that building, and then the curve we're going around. That's this curve, there's the building and the tree, all right? So that means they're being held back right here, but they're filming in the direction of where this is, right? So this is one camera shot right here. And this is where they might have it. It's interesting because they actually park here. This was earlier when, so this might be over here, I guess. So they're actually, yeah, so there's no mountains or anything back there that you could see. So that was the one shot, but maybe earlier, I don't know, because like later on, maybe she's even further back, but it seems like, you know, maybe it was like right here, actually. You know, maybe a little bit further down. And that's the intersection. So it's got to be, this one here looked pretty good. Down here. But, I don't know, let me play that some more. But at least we got the spot where the curve in the road was. So they're looking in this direction, and that's what we were kind of confirming a minute ago.
Merced County, but we do know that one of the victims' cell phones was found not far from here at Elgin Road and Henry Miller Road. Again, we don't know if it's connected, but we will continue to keep you updated on any way related at all to the family that was kidnapped. Farmland and lots of very two-lane roads. Not much going on out here, but it is between Merced and Dos Palos. Now, of course, we don't know if this is in any way related at all to the family that was kidnapped in Merced County, but we do know that one of the victims' cell phones was found not far from here at Elgin Road and Henry Miller Road. Again, we don't know if it's connected, but we will continue to keep you updated online at abc30.com and tonight on Action News Live at 11. We hope.
I was going to play it again.
Hospital tonight.
Oh, so that
Day
was the guy.
reveal new details about Salgado's criminal history.
Jessica Harrington joins us live from the scene with what we know.
Good evening, Dale and Margot. We don't know much right now, but I can tell you roads are blocked in the area, and just down the road we know that there is law enforcement on scene, and the sheriff.
That looks like maybe that's that water situation. Let me look at that again. Yeah, see, like that's what this is right here. And in her case, she has the windy. Oh, is that where I put the other pin? Was it on this road? Yes. Okay. So right around here, there's going to be that sign. They were moved back even further, is what she's saying. And I think if you go down here, let me just turn around really quick. I think she's on this road right here, maybe. Maybe that's the, let me see if that sign is here with the, it's like it seems to be indicating, okay, it's a sharp turn. And if they're moved back, it's further back than that other picture that they had later. I just can't see a sign there. It's very close to this one already, but. Hold on, I just gotta check something out here. Okay, I see a sign up there, I think. Right around this corner. I thought I did. I saw something yellow. That was just an artifact on the screen. Yeah, so she's definitely, it looks like that's the canal thing, but it looks like she's just short of where there's no water in it. Maybe right here almost. But that doesn't look like the road. Because it, let's see, is there a sign right here? Don't see it. It's in one of the gaps. Right before the water, when the water stops at another point. So let's try this one right here, just for the hell of it. No. I'm gonna try this a couple times. What are you looking at, Lat? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Looking. Hey, thanks. Lead with love. Man, you guys, did I break something? I don't know what you guys are doing. Why are you doing that? Oh, Facebook Live. Okay, hold on. Who sent it to me? Yeah, we know that. We know that they were found deceased. I'm trying to find this spot. Don't you? I mean, don't you get it? I mean, I don't understand what's confusing about that. All right, let's see.
We've been working a kidnapping that we had actually seen on a
Thank you.
TV. Tonight, our worst fears
Really quiet.
have been confirmed. We found
You guys are crazy, man.
4
Jesus.
people from the kidnapping, and they are in fact deceased. We are still
Gray, they're found deceased. Yeah, I know. We know. That's what we're looking at here.
Department of Justice, and we're going to be most of the night processing the scene. There's no words right now to describe the anger.
Yeah, we already know the victims were found. Did you guys miss that part where we were just talking for, gosh, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes about the suspects being found, and I was just trying to find the correct orchard. That's it.
I feel, and the senselessness of this incident. I said it earlier.
Yeah, thanks for the link there, Sarita.
And I mean, what we're going to deal with.
You guys are
tonight
crazy
is that,
people.
and we're going to be out here all night having to deal.
How? How'd you miss it?
So, give you that much. The family has been notified. We've made arrangements through other.
I need a drink, you guys. You guys are.
The spiritual guidance through this, and we're hoping that they can now at least have some kind of closure to what's going on. It's not the closure we were hoping for. It's not the closure they were hoping for.
I think it's what you thought.
But as we progress through the night, we don't know all the facts yet at the scene. I can tell you that I have been near the scene to have seen, and we will be processing. It's going to be very methodical, and if we get any different news regarding
Who the hell kills an
we'll let you
8-month-old
know. At this
baby?
point,
Jeez.
right now, that's what we're working, and it sucks on many levels. So, you have a question?
What did he say? Did he actually say it sucks?
We got
on
the
it?
call at
I
about.
want to hear that.
It sucks on many levels.
Wow, that's cool. See, I like that normal speak.
We got the call at about 5:30 p.m. There was a farm worker in the area, and during the course of his job duties, came across them and made contact. Stayed by. We had deputies on scene rather quickly, and detectives were shortly thereafter. And the detectives went to the area and confirmed what we had.
Were they all found together, separate?
They're relatively close together. So, and I don't want to go into a lot of details as to what, but and we will at the later time be telling
God, how brutal is that, man? Now you watch the surveillance and you just go, that's crazy. They all were killed. You know, the woman didn't know the guy, you know, like there wasn't some affair, some crap that people, right?
And the investigation now is going to pursue a full conviction, and I'm hoping our district attorney's office files for the death penalty. That's how I feel.
Sheriff, you look pretty emotional, Sheriff.
Yeah, you're dealing with a child. I shared an incident that happened when I was on SWAT back in 1985, where a guy shot his own kids with a .44 Magnum. I was so angry at this son of a gun that because he shot himself. This is another one of those. I'm just livid inside because this was completely, totally senseless. We have a whole family wiped out, and for what? We don't know yet. So we are working on that. We'll try to get those answers.
Was the suspect able to ever tell you anything about this scene?
We've got information from the suspect. We're going to keep that close to our chest at this point, but that suspect has in fact been talking to us.
Now, did this have anything to do with what you said in the press conference about that cell phone that was found? Is that connected to the phone?
Well, the cell phones that we found belonged to our victims, and so the connected part is the fact that they had them when they left the business, and they were found later on the road. So,
is that near here?
In a close proximity, yes.
Any other indication of where the suspect went beyond this that you can share? Did he continue that way? Did he come back the other way? We know the
we
truck
have information, but right now we want to keep that tight, only because we want, now our focus is on conviction. So now that we've got this part of the investigation, I'll say not even wrapped up, but investigating this part, now we're going to go for and try and get as much evidence as we can, and we do have a lot of circumstantial evidence and direct evidence that we are going to be gathering and hopefully presenting to the district attorney's office.
Are you able to share it all for people who haven't been out to this area?
Wow, brutal.
What the area is like, where you did find them?
Extremely rural farm area. Not a lot of folks come out here except for the folks here.
God, why couldn't you just
went down that lovely road?
You know, the 8-month-old is what's really bothering me the most.
And it is extremely remote. And
I mean, it's all shitty, but man, really?
Coming out here, I will bet you if we didn't even have the intersections blocked up, I don't think in 2 hours we'd have had 10. Conviction. That lovely road, you'll understand why there's not a lot of people coming through here, and it is extremely remote. And the fact that coming out here, I will bet
sort of like in the Lori and Chad Daybell. Like, why did they kill JJ? That's stupid. It's all silent. All the rest of this is no audio. How lame. Crazy. It is. Well, I was just out here trying to find, because we pinpointed, I think it's somewhere like right around in this area. That's where they said they were searching. But they seem to be pointing over here. I was just trying to find, before I was so rudely interrupted, I was looking for the sign on the ground that talked about curvy roads. I think it was probably over in this area. They probably put one there later. But we know that for sure they were camped out here, and it looked like they were pointing over here. So if they were doing that, over here, so it's probably like out here somewhere, you know. That's what I'm thinking. Is that the sign right there? The one that was in there? No. Yeah, it's just, it's terrible. Well, I guess now it's just on to justice. At least it's one of those cases that you can solve right away instead of having it linger on and on. And what's beautiful about it is it allows for it to be solved without the crazy, wild conspiracy theory channels picking up on it and coming up with all kinds of nutty things, you know. Thank God. Oh, is there finally a sign? That's not even the right one. But well. That's brutal. But thanks for sending me the link there. At least the evil monsters in custody. Yeah, they got him in custody. Man, I'm just trying to... You know, it's weird now if you go back and you know, if you're thinking about it and you... Let's see, where is this? You know, these people are just wanting answers, but when you sort of watch it again, it's just crazy, right? This guy's looking around, then he goes outside, this guy follows him in, and he runs up there, you know, you wonder if he's...
Walks up to the building.
Like running in to say, hey, our old trucker's back here again. He's wanting to know, like...
Photo of our suspect.
And he pulls out a gun right here, you see it, out of his pocket. And then all of those people, every single one of these people that you see being brought out of the building all get killed.
He then enters the business.
It's
Unfortunately, there's no...
crazy, you know.
It also appears that Jazz Deep and Almond Deep are zip tied behind their backs.
I mean, it's just, you know, I just gotta say, the whole thing is weird. I mean, they get killed, but, like, we don't see these things happening. Is this what they all look like? Just sort of, yeah, get down there. Everybody just kind of does what they're supposed to, you know, what they're told to do, and they kind of mellowly go do it, and... And he probably said, if you guys try to make a run for it, I'll go back. See, he separated them to use the family members against the other family members. He probably said, if you guys make a run for it, I'll shoot the wife and kid in there. So they're going to do what he says. Then when, but he told her, if you call anybody, I'll kill you. Yeah.
Put it in the back seat of the pickup truck.
Sucks, you know. And then he comes back, and he goes up, and he just opens the door again.
Less than a minute later, you're going to see Jasleen and Arohi come out of the business unrestrained.
I think it's interesting that they showed all this to the public. Because, I mean, having this doesn't really help anybody do anything. So look at this. See, this lady right here and this little baby get killed. I mean, Jesus. I mean, they all seem to have so much courage. You know, that's one of the things I'm noticing. Like, these two guys, in reality, you see how they're not like struggling around and freaking out, and then so does the lady with their baby. You know, she just complying. God. And I wish they just knew. It's sort of like the hijack, you know, the planes on 9/11, right? That's why Flight 93, they knew that the planes were being flown into the building, so they go, screw this, and they just made an attempt. You know, like right here, she could have just started running, really running, But she probably thought that he would go kill them if, you know, maybe they're still alive in the car right there, you know, like other people were thinking, you know, like Zozo and other, you know. They didn't say that they were in the vehicle, and there's no way to tell based on the grainy footage, but they might have better footage than that. But maybe the two are still in the car, and she gets in there, and they sort of feel like, oh, hey, we're back together. And then this barbarian, you know, the phone location is ludicrous, I got to tell you. I mean, I was predicting that you're going to put the phone here, maybe put the bodies over here or
southbound
over
Highway
here.
59 right before the video ends.
But they were found somewhere right around in this area. I feel good putting a, you know, like that. And the phone was right there. I mean, these idiots, they probably, you know, threw the phone there first, then drove down here, put their bodies over here. Then they drove all the way back up, burned the vehicle right in this area, and then he went home. But then the relatives started calling him because he was somebody that was, they saw the images and they go, oh, that looks like that trucker guy that we used to have. And told him, you know, he was saying some weird things, and then he said that, then they called the police based on what he said, and then they called him back and said, hey, you know, we called the police. I don't know why they did that, but anyways, the police, before they even got there, this guy tried to kill himself. So he probably knew that he had just killed everybody and he's toast. And then the car was burned, the cell phone's in a weird place. You know, it was pretty obvious that it was a really bad, ominous situation. Yeah. I'm not surprised at it. They just want to get this one done. You know, it's like, what a disturbing story. Anybody else have any more links, breaking news on that? We can check that out. Oh yeah, we already got that one. Wait, maybe. Oh, here we
As
go.
you guys are well aware, for the last 3 days we've been working a kidnapping that we had actually seen on a closed circuit TV. Tonight our worst fears have been confirmed. We found the 4 people from the kidnapping, and they are in fact deceased. We are still working. We've got crime labs coming in from Department of Justice, and we're going to be most of the night processing the scene.
No, Vicky, we're just all completely oblivious.
There's no words right now to describe the anger I feel and the senselessness of this incident. I said it earlier, there's a special place in hell for this guy.
Yeah.
And I mean it.
This guy's getting right up there with Grady Judd as he goes, you know? Other than the psychic comment. Okay, that drops him down a notch or two. Okay.
What we're going to deal with tonight is bad, and we're going to be out here all night having to deal with it. So, give you that much. The family has been notified. We've made arrangements through other contacts to try and get them the spiritual guidance through this, and we're hoping that they can now at least have some kind of closure to what's going on. It's not the closure we were hoping for. It's not the closure they were hoping for. But as we progress through the night, we don't know all the facts yet at the scene. I can tell you that I have been near the scene to have seen, and we will be processing. It's going to be very methodical, and if we get any different news regarding this, we'll be sure to let you know. But at this point, right now, that's what we're working, and it sucks on many levels.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Maria C.S. Rodriguez.
ABC 30 Action News, live at 6.
Please help us out, come forward, so my family come home safe.
Tonight, a family's plea to the community. Loved ones are holding out hope after a baby girl, her parents, and her uncle were kidnapped.
No. Yeah, it sucks. The last like 4 minutes cut off, man, of that press conference. Unreal.
Where for the last 3 days we've been.
Okay, got that. Yeah, thanks everybody for the links. If you can find one that where it's not cut off all the way through, let me know. Yeah, so Gino he knew what he was talking about the, you know, he wasn't a fake person or something. Yeah, he actually knew that the truck, it was a truck driver for their business, and he said old truck driver, meaning old like, well, he was their old one, you know, the one, but it's only been a company for a few weeks, but like they probably had a truck driver and they got rid of him, and then he came back probably out of, you know, disgruntled worker plus money. He wanted to get money. That's what it's about, you know. God, what a freaking nut job. God. What the hell's going on, you guys? Hey, Linda Howell, are you still out there? Oh, I got it. Never mind. I already got it. She sent me a PayPal. Thank you so much. Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. You know, from Art Bell days. Well, if you guys want to call in, I got the numbers on the screen here if you want to call in about anything. Anybody interested? And this is absolutely ridiculous.
Recording stopped.
Thanks, Cindy Lynn. I think we said earlier, you must have missed it. I think it's very possible that, hold on.
Chewbacca?
So here's where they work. They work right here.
Gray, cocktail glass.
Thanks. Cindy Lynn. Alright, so this is what it looked like in June. So they've obviously done a lot of modifications since, but this is the ramp, and you know, there's a fence put around and everything. So I think they actually left and went north. The video of the lady and her child went south, but now it makes more sense that the two men are still in the truck. And this could have been technically possibly a one-man operation, other than, you know, where the burned car is. That's a pretty long walk, you know, although, you know, it's only a couple miles really, but they could have driven from the truck business that they have. It's only 2 miles to the banks there's like 5 banks right here, and went in and maybe did a ATM withdrawal. Maybe took a couple minutes to do that. And he used them against each other to get the ATM PIN number. Then he gets the cash. Then he drives back 2 minutes, the same direction. Gets back. They're still sitting in that car. We can't see them. Then he goes up inside the house and gets the, you know, the woman with her daughter, or child, I guess, and then brings them back to the vehicle, and now all 4 of them are in the back. And at that point, drives them this way. Now, it also could be that there was a car waiting over here where the first 2 guys were driven to, and they just sort of waited for a while. Then he went up there, got the woman and the kid, brought them back down this way. But there's a reason they were probably separated, you know, so who knows. I think they might have been separated because you could threaten and say, you better give me your ATM or I'm going to go back and kill her. Something like that, right? If she's right there, I guess you could say, also threaten it, but maybe it seems more, I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a little bit weird, right? Jeez. But we do know that they were at a bank machine. We just don't know what time the bank machine was. So if the bank machine is in that same time frame, 9 something in the morning, where, like probably something like, let's see, where is that? Yeah, maybe at 9:15 in the morning. At the bank machine. That'd be pretty interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if it's that high at 800. That's pretty high. Welcome, Jamie. All right. And just so you know, when you're a channel member, you get to use all the emojis, and also that money is part of the income at the end of the month, where we donate a ton of money to various charities and so forth. Yeah, I mean, this guy's an absolute barbarian. I think had he not killed the kid, he'd at least go, okay, well, at least he had something in there. There was some sort of humanity in this person. But he didn't. He just went and killed the eight-month-old kid, where the 8-month-old kid had absolutely no chance of identifying anybody or anything, and there was absolutely no reason whatsoever to do that. He could have just left well, she wouldn't have walked out peacefully if he made her leave the baby in there. I think that was all part of the tactical plan. But why didn't he just put the baby somewhere, just, I don't know. I mean, just leave the baby there if that's your last thing. I mean, at least you gave it a shot, It's stupid. Well, the thing is, the death penalty is awesome when you use it on the right people, and there's 100%. The only problem with the death penalty is that in the last 20 years, there's been dozens and dozens of people exonerated from DNA evidence off of death row. Okay, and that should really bother a lot of people. So we're all for death penalty. Yeah, man, some of these people, But here's the thing, man. Before DNA existed, how many people did we execute as a nation that were innocent? Given the fact that we've exonerated dozens and dozens because of DNA. I mean, that is sick, right? I mean, if you execute one innocent person, you've done it too many times. It's absolutely horrific. Think about what they went through. Always saying, I didn't do it, and we kill them. I mean, God, that is sick. And you can't just say something like, so the way I would do it was make the death penalty rare, and it's in circumstances where, just like this one, where you see the guy on video, there is no doubt he's the guy at the ATM. He matches up with the guy at the building there, at the company, and he is the killer, right? There is no doubt. There isn't some weird trickery by the prosecutor, some eyewitness that maybe saw somebody. I think the standard should be way higher for death penalty. Certain things must be in place to make it happen. An eyewitness in the dark doesn't count. Okay, that doesn't count as one. So, I don't know. I think life without parole should definitely be something that is utilized a hell of a lot more, though, with no chance of ever getting out. The whole death penalty thing it's kind of a joke anyways. These guys sit around for 25 years appealing this, appealing that, waiting around, doing this and that, and it costs millions and millions of dollars. And why not just keep them alive and just their life sucks, But I guess you always wonder if some weirdo, hardcore lefty person will go, hey, I think let's get rid of life without parole. Everybody deserves another chance. Come on, everybody. Gee. Yeah, well, that's one part I get nervous about. And don't worry, I'm not talking about you. If you're a Democrat, I'm talking about those crazy wackos that wanted to defund the police, for God's sakes. Those are the types I'm talking about. Yeah. Let's see. Why would they get to live? Should they get to live? I don't know who you're talking about, Paulette. I guess they get to live because our death penalty system, I just explained the whole thing. I don't know how you missed it. So put a 1 if you think it's okay if we execute some innocent people as long as we get to execute all the really bad ones. You know, it's okay. You know, look. If we accidentally execute 10 out of 100 innocent people, I mean, is that bad? That's not too bad, huh? Is that really? I don't want to be in a state like that. No chance. It's terrible. It's horrible. I mean, terrible and hey, it's terrible. I like that. Horrible and terrible mixed. Yeah. Right, see? Yeah, there isn't anybody out there that believes that. So here's the thing. How do we make it so that the death penalty is rare? It's only used on people where there is zero chance of them being found innocent at some point. Like the DNA leads to them. You see them on video. All of the circumstantial evidence is absolutely clear, creating this chain of information. And there's a point where once the evidence is in, the jury has to vote, look through the evidence. And if there's even, like, you know, that old term, the shadow of a doubt. So there should be this reasonable doubt is the guilt part. But then use the old shadow of a doubt to say, man, there's just something that there's a remote chance. So he's not death penalty eligible, but definitely eligible for life without parole. And then boom. Okay? But if you get to the case where you go, no, there is no doubt. The evidence is so overwhelming that this is the killer. This is somebody who did these things. Boom. They vote for that. And then these people get... So maybe the jury should have like a secondary thing that they vote on death penalty, the eligibility of death penalty at the end. Like it's something that they get to vote on. So it's eligible for the death penalty, but they get to choose if it gets to that level right away because they were the ones that were listening. Now the scary part about it is the same wackos that watch a lot of these crazy conspiracy channels and actually engage in conversation like it's really interesting and neato. Those are the same people that serve on juries, you know, the same crazy people that watch these YouTube videos over and over and go, ooh, good stuff, man. And it's garbage. That means you have the ability to be sold absolute trash information, and you're going to probably vote an innocent person into prison because you're a moron. Or you're going to free somebody that did the murder because you decided to believe that aliens are the ones that beamed down the gun. Okay? Yeah, so that's the scary part is we have so many dumb people in society at this point that you almost want there to be like this professional jury system where you got these guys that make $250,000 a year. They're not going to get bribed. They're really smart people. They can listen and figure things out. Because when you go into the jury, next time you go and do a jury pool, look around and ask yourself, are these really peers of mine? And I think the smarter people out there will go, hell no. Man, wow. I mean, this guy showed up with sweatpants on to a jury pool. I mean, this is with cheeseburger stains and ketchup on his shirt. Yeah, we know. Yeah, Great White. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, that was like an hour ago. Thanks, though. And he's not a suspect anymore, Great White. Somebody tell Great White he's on rewind mode and that they've already found the bodies, okay? There we go. That's why the phone scanners call us the dumb Americans. Scammers, you mean? Yeah. So go ahead. What do you mean, yes? You're obviously on rewind mode if you're telling me the name Jesus. I mean, not Jesus. Great White. You're telling me the name's Jesus. Yeah, because we didn't ask that for like a good hour now. Nah. I'm totally for the death penalty if it's used absolutely sparingly for the worst of the worst, where it's absolutely 100% no chance that they didn't do it. And I think it should be really rare. And then, in those cases, there aren't 25 years of waiting around. The ones that are deemed that way, maybe there's like a 5-year maximum of appeals and this kind of thing because it was deemed 100. I don't know. Or maybe there's like a review panel that immediately shows up, looks at the evidence, and says, I don't know how to really do it. That's the problem. Because there are people that just shouldn't be alive, that are horrendous people. I mean, just monsters. And there's no redeemable qualities of them. So even if you're religious, it's just not cool. I don't even think a God would want to. Here's the thing, everybody. Like Ed Kemper, he used to have sex with heads of people. He'd cut their heads off and then he'd have sex with them. And then in prison, he tried to say, oh, I'm religious now. I think even God looked at him and said, yeah, screw you. And I tell you what, I wouldn't even want to worship or celebrate a God who would look at a guy like Ed Kemper who goes, I believe now, I believe, and actually give a damn what he said, okay? That's embarrassing. I mean, have a little bit of, like, okay, there's some people that just don't get a shot at it, Dahmer. Yeah, they all come up, oh, I'm so religious now. Again, you guys, you got to go watch, after the show tonight, go on to YouTube and watch the Jeffrey Dahmer Stone Phillips interview. And he starts talking about, oh yeah, and God and everything. Oh yeah, but by the way, Dahmer's talking about how he's found God in prison. But as he's leaving, he goes, hey, this might interest you, Stone. See that box over there? That's almost identical to the box that I had that head in I was telling you about. There goes that religious comment right out the window. He didn't give a shit. Well, I wasn't just talking to you, sweet dreams. It was anybody. I wonder what the Punjabi faith, ethics, and morals are regarding the death penalty. I don't know. Is that what their faith is? Not like Hindu or something? Yeah, they did, yeah. Thou shall not killed? No, it is up to us, yeah. Maybe the person who thou shalt killed shouldn't have killed, right? Yeah, the person who killed shouldn't have killed. So we're just getting rid of the people that, shouldn't have killed, that you're saying, thou shalt not kill. Okay, well, we're getting rid of the people who shouldn't have killed, right? There you go. Yay! I just came up with the answer. Well, good, sweet dreams. Good. Good for you. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody had hope, but I don't think anybody that with any sort of true crime experience at all thought there was a really a very good shot at all that they're going to be alive. Right? I mean, it's just the way the circumstances, a burned car, cell phone somewhere else, a guy that almost kills himself when the police are heading to his house. Every one of those things is an ominous sign that something really, really bad happened. Yeah, I think, people hoped that maybe he did something with the baby, but now we realize that he's killed them all. And it's just really sick bastard. I actually hope they put him in prison for a little bit. So in 2007, somebody, let's see, hold on. Dana sent me I'll put it over here. Well, you can't see it, so it's according to court papers in 2007, Salgado pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 11 years in prison for first-degree robbery, attempted false imprisonment, and dissuading a witness. So now he's not going to dissuade anybody. He knows if he gets caught again, he's in there for life. So he had to make sure. So here's the whole situation then. Okay, here's how this works. So right here it says, according to court papers in 2007, Salgado pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 11 years in prison. Well, he knows if he did this again and was pointed out, he'd be in prison for the rest of his life. So he killed all of them so they wouldn't be witnesses. And then when the police were showing up to question him, he knew he was caught, and he just was going to kill himself because he didn't want to spend all those years in prison. He knew that was coming. Yeah, so that's exactly what happened here. See, that's why we shouldn't have such long sentences, everybody, because... Yeah. That way they won't have the incentive yeah, okay, see how crazy that is? Monsters should stay in prison. Every one of them. There's no redeeming a sexual assault rapist. The types that multiple rapes. You put them back out, they're going to rape again no matter what. Okay? There isn't redeeming, there isn't some kind of some magic pill. They just do it every time. And for you new viewers here tonight, one of my ideas, I think that could really solve this. I've said it probably 100 times, but listen to this great idea. You know the judges that let people out? Like they'll let a child predator out after 2 years and say, hey, I think he's ready. I believe in the psychologist and everything, or like a violent sex offender or something like that. Well, what I always say is, why isn't he required to let the person live in his house for, maybe a month or two? So the person he lets out, he feels so confident that he's ready to go out into society and intermingle with everybody. Let him live at your house for a month, Judge, and let's see what happens. And let's say there was a law that was passed that actually made that a reality. How much do you want to bet that these judges will almost never find somebody, ready to get back into society? They're just going to go, oh wait, oops, ooh, my arm, I can't sign it. Yeah, and they wouldn't get out, and the reason they wouldn't is because the judge knows how dangerous these people are. He just doesn't give a damn because he knows he's protected in his little neighborhood where he lives. Probably a gated community with security guards out front. But see, that's what would be so great about it. You have these people live with, it's not practical at all what I'm saying, and it'll never happen. But I would say this, that if a judge lets out a known violent rapist and that person goes and rapes somebody again, that the judge should actually just lose their job at that point. Okay? Because you put somebody out there and you cause great harm to somebody else. Same thing with the death penalties that have been overruled from DNA and exonerations given out. The prosecutors who put those people in prison should also serve some prison time. Like maybe if let's say you get out after 20 years, they should get 10. Okay? Because they didn't do it non-nefariously. You can't sell to a jury somebody who's totally innocent without you doing some trickery to convince people, because you obviously didn't really have all of the information you needed. You were just, the prosecutors in our country have the benefit of the doubt. That it just is that way, right? It's like, oh, they must have something. Okay, yeah. So they get in there and they just sell and weave this huge story to everybody. And they go, oh, guilty! And then it's really hard to become exonerated at that point. But once you are, then you should investigate how that happened and then put the prosecutor in prison for half the amount of time that he falsely imprisoned somebody, because it was intentional. There isn't, I guarantee you this. Well, I won't guarantee, I would say 99% of false imprisonments were intentionally done. There's no way that you could, and they knew that they had shaky information, but they needed to spin it in a way that sounded good. I guess you have to investigate them, because maybe the detectives and so gave you information that was also spun in a different way. I mean, it's hard to really know for sure, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's incredible when somebody's completely exonerated after spending 25 years in prison. Their whole life was taken away from them, and a jury was sold a bill of goods. So, anyways, that's what I think. Hey, could everybody hit that like button? I mean, where are we at on this? Like 10? These people, they're just so, they never. Hey, Dana, thank you. I was thinking about that other. Man. All right, I went to shut the front door, said the man, when he pulled out a gun and held it to the back of my head. The homeowner said Salgado duct taped the hands of himself, his wife, his 16-year-old daughter, and his daughter's friend before he stole all the money we had, rings and that kind of stuff. The man said Salgado even took the ring off his wife's finger before he made the girls jump in the pool and tried to push me in the pool. Once in the pool, the man says Salgado told them, if you call the police... Oh, wow, that's exactly what I guessed right there. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. If you call the police, I will kill you. And what did I say was part of the story? When he left the woman in there, he said that exact same thing. He said, if you call the police, I'll kill these two guys here. That's insane. Look at that. Look at that. The man said they did call the police, and Salgado was arrested the next morning, according to the California Department of Corrections. Wow. So good for them. But he knew that somebody might do that, but in this case, he probably felt really confident. Plus, I think he had her tied up, and then he just merely cut off the restraints and then let her carry the baby, because as I said earlier, the baby was virtually a handcuff. Yeah, she's not going to drop the baby and start running, you know. But man, maybe that would have worked. I think he would have let her leave the baby in that building. She just thought they were going to live. Man, what a nightmare. God. sent me a video. Let's see. I don't have a video from anybody. Yeah. Shoot, I should have turned this off. All right, 937, you're on. Gotta hit *6. Yep. Hello.
Hi, Gray.
Hey, who's this?
Can you hear me? It's Support with Steffa.
What's the music? Oh, hold on. I gotta. What's going on? Support with Steffa?
Well, I hated to be the only one to call because I feel like I call a lot, but I had questions because it's such an early case. My first question is it true? Have you verified this? That the killer, because I don't know his name, he actually had confessed to his own family, and the family had turned him in to law enforcement.
No, I didn't.
And
I don't think that happened.
That's not true. Or that had
well,
not
no, it
been
doesn't sound. Well, it's not confirmed, but that's not what happened here. I mean, it sounds like. Well, I mean, it may have happened. I don't know, but that's not part of the story that was told. The story that was told was that the family of the kidnapped. Hold on.
With their early releases or serve time for early releases that reoffend, they wouldn't.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Hey, thanks, Papa Q. So the what it was the family of the 4 people that were kidnapped. They knew about this guy, and then they recognized him, and then they called him and talked to him, and then things that he said they reported to the police, and then they called him back and said, "Hey, we told the police what you said," and then he might have confessed to them or something. Maybe, like, oh, he owed me money or something. But not to his own family. He might have been, maybe he confessed to their family, the family of the abducted people.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility. So the family actually spoke to him on the phone.
That's what it sounds like. The way he worded it. Let me see if I got the wording right here. He said, the family had told our suspect that they had in fact called law enforcement because of what he told them. Right? Then when then he called back, and then he said they told him that the police were going to contact him or something. He found out the police were going to contact him, and then he tried to kill himself. And they think it's about money too. It's crazy, isn't it?
And okay, so and it had been just recently that he had been terminated or whatever happened between the two parties. He had been employed by them or somehow was a trucker by their company, and it hadn't worked out.
Yeah,
correct?
Maybe a truck. Well, they've only had a company that's been in operation for a few weeks. But Gino, a relative that was in our last show's chat, said that he was an old trucker, probably just meaning like he was a trucker right at the beginning. It's not really the right word. It's probably more like he's one of the ex-truckers. He worked because it was just a few weeks ago, right? So, maybe he got fired and something happened and got upset, but they recognized him.
That is unbelievable. And then I wanted to ask you, because I had gotten to the chat later, how far was it from where they were abducted to the bank, and then from the bank?
Well, I don't know which bank it is. It's only 2 miles to the bank. The banks. We don't know which one they went to or where they went, but it's only 2 miles. So I already came up with, 2 minutes there, 2 minutes buying, getting the money, then 2 minutes back, and then you go inside the house. Maybe they're still in the car, maybe not. We don't really know the situation there. I don't know what time the bank transactions are either. So what was your next question?
how far from the banks to where they were found?
Oh, let's see. Shit, hold on. I have to just measure it with the straight line tool here. So as a crow flies, they were found 16 miles away.
16 miles.
They're probably like 20 driving. What?
I'm just thinking, like,
and then
there was so unnecessary.
Yeah, and then after that, the burned car was 24 miles from that location as a crow flies. Wow. And then the cell phone was found a lot less than that, only 2.25 miles from where the bodies were found. So that's kind of a dumb move there. And yeah, so then the car was 24 miles north of the bodies, and then it's just they were trying to, this person or persons was trying to deflect and like confuse people and put items in different places to lead people in the wrong direction.
I'm just grateful that the farmer found. I mean, I felt terrible for the farmer, but I'm glad that the family got the answer than having to wait years and years and years.
Yep.
Not that it's the answer that anybody wanted, but
yeah, it's
and the baby.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare, and there was another thing, and I don't even know if I should bring this up because this is kind of off topic.
Here we go.
Well, on topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about the death penalty. So it's on topic, and we were talking about life in prison and how people can be, to make sure for sure 100% that these people are guilty, and how there's a case, and you might know it because it's a famous case, and I cannot think of her name, but she was convicted of murdering her, I believe he was 8-year-old son, and the son, the mom and dad were going through a divorce, and dad testified that he thought she had taken the son's life for to get back at him, and it was a pretty brutal scene, and it was a stabbing, and there was no signs of forced entry, and the knife was from her kitchen. And so she gets convicted. I don't know all the details, and she was in prison for quite some time, and the only reason, and it was life with prison, she didn't have a death penalty, but everything looked like, if I was on the jury, I would have convicted her too. Like, there was nothing that would show anybody else was ever in the house. And it wasn't until I think 10 years later that a serial killer admitted to killing him. He had murdered I think 15 children. Do you know what case I'm talking about?
No. I might, but I just don't remember it right now. But
I'm gonna get the name of that case because it's very interesting. If he never would have came forward, the world would have thought that this woman killed her.
Yeah, and she probably
son,
professed her innocence all the time, but everybody was like, come on, they all say that. They all say that.
Yeah, exactly. And the police, he said what he had there, the window to his room was open, and if the police would have done fingerprints, he said he did not have gloves on. So if they would have done fingerprints, they would have seen that somebody had come through the bedroom window. And so that was missed. In court, though, that didn't come out. So it's it can be looked to a jury into the rest of the world like they are guilty.
Yeah, well, that's kind of that's what I was just saying. We are. I mean, you're just kind of going at a lesser even. I mean, the death penalty. These prosecutors just sell the evidence that they've got. I mean, I guarantee it. They were probably going, I don't know, man, but we got the case, so we got to do our best. You know, and they sell it because, you know, people want to believe the prosecutors and be part of convicting somebody. And there you go. You know, so poor information. You know, people get accused and then they get convicted of crap all the time that they didn't do. You know, I don't know. So
Yeah.
There's way more than we'd like to believe. I don't think Scott Peterson's one of those people, by the way. Yeah.
You don't? See, I have questions.
I don't have any.
do.
I don't have any at all. I don't have any at all. The guy, all you got to do. See, everyone wants to look at these little things, and I don't want to talk about it though. Like get into a because I want to.
Right.
I want to end the show, but my thing is I did an hour. I did an hour and 15 minutes earlier. Now it's almost 3 on this one. So the, you know, you just go. He's dating Amber Fry. His wife's pregnant. Everything about it, going down there with the boat and the crap, and he dyes his hair and he's trying to do. It's just, you know, you can get some creative person to try to make sell some crap to people that, oh wow, yeah, he didn't do it. It's just really obvious, you know. It's one of those ones, and you can even just tell with him, it's really obvious. Like he's never been going, I didn't do it, man, I didn't do it. He's just sort of, okay, let's see what happens. Anyways.
Right. But did you see what I was saying about the woman that all the evidence was showing toward her? So I see how we get these wrongful convictions is what I was trying to say. So I see the argument on both sides. And when it comes to, because I am pro death penalty in situations, especially when it comes to child killers.
But here's the thing. Do you think the evidence was really all pointing to that lady, or did they make it look like the evidence was all pointing to her by the way they would word it and stuff?
I'm going to go and look up that case, and I would love to send it to you because I would like to hear your take on that. I always enjoy talking to you and listening to the way you think about it because I don't have it all. She's talking about, that's it, Jolie, is it Rhea?
Darlie Routier, that one? Darlie Routier?
Yes. Not Darlie Routier.
Whatever
Julie.
her name is.
Yeah,
Which
that's
one?
the one. I'm going to look it up, and then I'm going to send you what I find, and I would love to hear your take on it if I send it an email.
Yeah.
And I bet you'll probably be like, oh yeah, I remember that case because it was, you know, pretty big news. But it still took her 2 years to get out, even though after, you know, he came out and said, I did this. This woman didn't do it. But the only reason he, you know, said it was because he was already caught with all the other murders. Otherwise, he would have just let her take the fall.
That's wild. I wonder how he
I
knew.
know.
I wonder how he even. Well, I don't want to. Yes, and then we'll have to get into a conversation. Yeah, just
Yeah,
send
we'll
me the
be here
thing.
forever.
That'd be
I will.
sweet. All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Support with
Thanks for
Steffa.
taking support with Steffa. Thanks for taking my call. I always enjoy your perspective.
Well, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Have a good night. Okay.
All right. Let me shut this down over here. All right. So everybody, thank you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the like button, hit that. I mean, we've only got 474 freaking likes on here. Come on. Let's get going. Here we go. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Hit that like button. 10, 20. It doesn't hurt at all to hit the like button. It's very easy to hit the like button. So simple. Just hit the freaking like button. We did a whole 3-hour show. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Nope, we're not going to keep on going. Hit the like button, 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 hit the like button.
How dare you make me hit the like button, gee!
You want to put 30, sir? 25. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the. Now we're not going to keep going until we get to the. We're not going to end the show until we get to the. Get to 500. Hit that like button, don't 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 like button.
20, 5, 30, and 30, and 30, 25, 30. You want to put 30, sir? 25 of them, you're out. 25, 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
All right, hold on. Come on. I did have one thing I got to do right in here. Hold on. All right, everybody, look at this. Sabrina Rodriguez just had her baby here. She's in the hospital right now, recovering from her C-section that she told us about, and she's also getting her tubes tied. No more kids for now. And there it is. Look how cute that baby is. I mean, that is really one of the cutest babies you're going to see. And that's Sophia, and it's it's a baby freak. All right. So that's the amazing part about it. It's baby freak Sophia, a new baby of. Now, Sabrina Rodriguez, but they have another kid named, what's the name of the, Santiago, right? So Santiago and Sophia and Sabrina Rodriguez. Of course, there's probably a husband mixed in that's probably holding the baby right there. But look how cute that is, huh? She sent me that email yesterday, and I just happened to find it today. But it's pretty amazing. There you go. You. So congratulations. She's always so nice when she comes in here. I think everybody likes her. She's great. Yeah, I know, Cindy. I said it. Thanks. Yikes. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's really the cutest baby ever. Just turn your head, you can see it. It's not one of the ugly babies. You know, the ones that you guys all had. Mine wasn't ugly at all, Gray. It was the cutest baby. Okay. All right, so thank you to the Velvet Army, Freebird Forever, Carolina T, Lane Dune, Jody H. Now watch, everybody's going to start. I didn't like when Grace said my baby was ugly. Look how cute my baby is, everybody. And everybody's going to start sharing baby pictures to defend that their baby wasn't ugly. Okay, wasn't really saying that every one of your babies was ugly. I'm sure a few of them are cute as hell, man. They're probably the cutest. All right, anyways, let's get back to the thank you, the Velvet Army. Freebird Forever, Carolina T, Lane Dune, Jody H, JSD, WNC Granny, Annabelle Stealth, and then Dreaming Girl, 13 months, Mary Glaviano, Kimberly Ann, Zozo, and then Quietly Frozen with a double cat eye, the coolest name in YouTube history. Michelle Sakura Griggs. Yucking it up. Georgina Stoliker. Then the Velvet Army, who said quietly, double dare wave. That's also a double cat eye donation. Dreaming Girl. Then Kubi. Thank you. Ria Mazzarone. Scott Holland. And then, let's see. Nomad Beads by Rhonda, a new member to Freak 101, then Candalee Woodward Stone, Eugenie, Lead with Love, Maria Sayas Rodriguez, Cindy Leon, and then a new member, Jamie, and then Papa Q, and Trusa Girl 1, and Cindy Leon. Then on the PayPal side, I don't know where those streamlabs go. be honest with you. But M22 sent one in, and I think somebody else did. But TTJO Tracy, Jan H, Sarah Terry, Paulette Leonard, and Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles, and Dana Prevost, let's see, with a cat eye donation on there. So thank you very much. Awesome. All right, now we're going to take the number, all the names anyways. Hey, thanks, the Mystery Maven ESQ. And if you're new to this channel, you just happen to randomly coming by and you kind of like the way it was, you'll like it even more when I'm just going to throw this out there, because a lot of people don't know what we do here. So every single night on this channel, we raise funds. I'm just telling you this for the future. We raise funds for my channel, right? You're sending money for my channel so that I can keep doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, I donate over 50% of the net revenue from YouTube to various charities and a DNA fund. So in 2020, it was an amazing year. We did $22,000 in 2020, right during the beginning of the pandemic. And we were like, oh man, that's amazing. Let's just keep going, everybody. Then the next year in 2021, we did $42,500. That's directly from the income from the channel. Like everybody just supports the channel every single night, and then boom, $42,500 in 2021. And then in 2022 so far, with 3 months to go, we're at $36,530, and we're at a total of $101,030 to true crime related charities and a DNA fund that we've put over $42,000 in there. So isn't that incredible? I mean, it's all because of you guys. I do the show, you support the channel, and you guys are the ones that allow it to happen. All right, so there you go. You guys are freaking amazing, and it's all you. So thank you very much, and let's do the spin. Oh, and look at that. There's support with Steffa. I'll add you in there right at the end. Hold on. Yeah, thanks for calling in. It's always good. One of these times we'll have to do a longer one about something. You caught me tonight right when I was into almost getting onto my 5th hour. And also there was people from the first show that I think they're in this spin too here. So tonight, how about we do one spin for we'll do 2 spins. The first spin will be for an everything tumbler, and the other one will be for a notebook. All right, does that sound good? It was a pretty good day here, so we'll do an everything tumbler and a notebook. All right, here we go. Oh, there you go. There's Alifair M. Hey, thank you. We're going to throw you in there right at the end. Hold on. Ooh, crap. Ooh. Got to get on a different page.
This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video
and it was one of the regular
let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime.
I didn't want you to see
this warning
the spin.
Is not...
Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to get Alifair M into the spin at the last second. Hold up. God, how do I do that? All right. That was crazy. That was a good catch, right? There we go. That was funny. Oh yeah, I mean, that's what they say, man. That's what they say.
Gosh, Gray, you are mean, gee. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And
would you just be quiet, Mary Lou? My God.
gosh, Gray, I was just having a good time.
Da 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 da. That damn Mary Lou, I tell you what. Alright. What the heck was that?
I was trying to whistle too, Gray. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Skiddly beep boop ba doo 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 skiddly beep ba doo doo.
Oh my God. What in the hell was that? Alright, here we go. Here comes for the Everything Tumbler. Oh, it was quietly frozen. Well, quietly frozen, do you want the Everything Tumbler or what? I think she is, Brian. I think you're right about that. She does like to have the ones with Retson. Alright, so Quietly Frozen wants to respin. And by the way, the first one ended up on the Velvet Army. She normally wants to respin, but if she wants to have the tumbler, I'd gladly send her one. Alright, here we go. Maria Sayas Rodriguez. Alright, there you go, huh? You have won the Everything Tumbler, so make sure to send me your address. And we'll have the gopher fill out the address and send off the notebook. Alright everybody, so this is going to be for the notebook, just by itself, alright? And they're pretty cool. They're really boss.
I thought you didn't like that word, Gray.
Yeah, I hate that word. You said it once, and now it's stuck in my mind.
Boss? Wow, that's weird.
Okay, it's really keen. Alright, you guys ready for the notebook? Here we go. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And a spin, and here we go. Yeah, rad. Oh, look at Alifair M at the last second wins the notebook. Alright, so go ahead and send me your address too. No doy! You know what? That was the funniest line in Dodgeball, was no doy. Yeah, the notebook is so fly. Yeah, jeez. Oh, you already got one? Okay. There we go. For the notebook, here we go. Will M22 win? Papa Q! Send me an email, M22. You're old school. Alright, so there you go. Boom. I mean, absolutely horrendous outcome for the night, but we try to have a few moments of levity or something at the end of the show just to get us all back, grounded again, thinking like, sane people again. Well, that's never possible, but sure. All right. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Sorry for the shitty outcome in, actually really both, well, the good outcome in the first case where they actually identified the headless, handless woman found in a suitcase in 1980. She got her name back, and maybe that'll lead to, who may have done it to her all those years ago. The second story was absolutely horrendous. Let me just run through this. Jesus Salgado is the killer, allegedly. On October 3rd, 2022 at 11:39 a.m., there was a vehicle fire at Buhak Road, or something like Buhak Road and Oakdale Road in California. Police found the registered owner and their address, but nobody responded at the home when they went there. They communicated with the family members, who started making calls. There had been no missing person report prior to that, but then they filed a missing person report. Then at 1:04 p.m. on October 3rd, they responded to the business on Highway 59, where the registered owner of the vehicle had a business and 3 other family members. And when they got there, they determined there was a crime. Detectives the detectives thought a kidnapping had occurred. Family continued to reach out to 3 missing persons. Let's see. They kept trying to call the numbers of the 3 adults. Family continued to reach out to the 3 adults, but didn't get any answers. But then they did get an answer from one of the cell phones that was found on Miller Avenue and Elgin Avenue in California. The cell phone was found by a farmer. The family called the phone and made contact with the farmer. On the surveillance footage, after the detectives pulled it from the business, they see the subject, Jesus Salgado, walking south on 59, passing the business out front. Jasdeep goes outside and meets the suspect, Jesus Salgado, because they know him. Suspect follows Jasdeep back, staying behind him. The suspect, after Jasdeep went inside the building, drops a bag that looked like it had trash in it, as a ruse maybe, and walks up the ramp behind him and pulls out a gun and then goes into the building. Then, let's see, and then they enter at 9:02. Roughly 9 minutes later, at 9:11 and 29 seconds, the back door opens up, and then at 9:12 and 15 seconds, both men are put into the back of the truck. At 9:19, at 9:12 and 15 seconds, both men are put in the back of the truck. But just prior to that, you see them walking down with their hands zip tied behind them. And then at 9:19, the truck is back. So it was gone for maybe 6.5 minutes. Then the suspect again enters the building through the same back door that he had ushered the other 2 men out. And a woman and her baby are led down the stairs, and she doesn't appear to have any ties, because I think the baby effectively is like restraints. They think, and police believe that at the press conference earlier in the day, they believed that it was maybe more than one person. The suspect has a history of robbery and using the same tactics. It sounds like the family members knew who this person was, the people that were not the abducted family members. And they contacted the person, and based on what he said, they told the police. Then they told him, the suspect, that they had told the police. And then he tried to kill himself before the police got there. And then later this evening, unfortunately, all 4 bodies were found in an area where the cell phone was found. So, I mean, it's really, just a brutal, crappy story. But I appreciate all of you guys being here to go through it together. And that's it. All right. And thank you very much for the support of the channel. It really makes a big difference for me, and also, you know, throughout the month. I think we're going to donate like $500 next week sometime to Rain. Rain's been sort of neglected a little bit lately, so we'll have to send some money into Rain. All right. Oh, it's a birthday too. Okay, hold on a second. Man, couldn't you come in earlier when there was some energy? All right, here we go. Hey, Mary Lee, you got to sing happy birthday. All right, so it's for BBJ, all right?
BBJ, who the hell's that? Never seen her before.
Well, that's pretty mean. I guess she might be here sometimes. But yeah. Sing happy birthday, Mary Lou.
Okay, God. Happy birthday to BBJ. Happy birthday to BBJ. Happy birthday to BBJ. Happy birthday to you.
Wow, that was terrible, Mary Lou.
Well, gosh, Grant, I was sleeping. You woke me up.
Okay, well, that's an excuse this time.
And many more. That was a little bit late, John Boy.
Yeah, that was weird, John Boy. We were already talking about something else, and then you said, and many more.
That's mean. I said it like this. And many more.
Well, that's how I was trying to sound, but I don't sound like you.
Oh my God, look at this ridiculous arguments these people get in. All right, well, thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for being here tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector,
interceptor, and I'll meet a little swinging with a vector
on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Hey, no problem. Quiet no agenda. I'm no pretender. The coolest name in YouTube history. Straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
You know, that's
Yeah,
just
so
one
let's get
step
right back to
above
work.
stupid.
All right, everybody?
Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains?
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp. Did you hear what I said?
Huh? It's the house!
Chewbacca?
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.